What is going on, Don't Unfriend Me Nation? Matthew Spear from the Don't Unfriend Me show. We've got Leeroy in the green room. He is right there, upside down. He'll be back. He'll be here soon. Olivia is, I don't know where Olivia is. She was upstairs getting ready, and she's MIA. So if anybody wants to go ahead and try to find her, that would be awesome. Hope everyone's doing well. New set, new night. We decided that after last night's performance, we were really, Olivia and I had a long conversation. We were nervous, to say the least. $187 is what we did on our donation, and we haven't done that 3 times last year. We missed it. But we were really surprised on a night that we were launching the studio. So we're hoping that tonight can be better. God, we're praying. And we've done a little something. If you want to stick around, there's a great video that we've made as a family to kind of have a pee break. Somebody said, hey, you do these 2.5, 3-hour shows, and we need a pee break. So we did a video that will allow y'all to take a pee break, but you got to watch it first and watch the bloopers, and then we'll play it again, and you can go on your pee break. We'll play it at the beginning of the show, and we'll do it at the end. So if you haven't seen it, it's pretty good. We got a lot to talk about tonight. China, Taiwan, Obama, the Fed, and a whole bunch other. Please stick around. Hang with us. And let's get back to having some fun and focus on raising some money for a great show. We love you. We appreciate you. Let's get going. 4 seconds away. See you in 3 minutes. I don't know.
Hey, Matt, congratulations on your success, brother. And I really appreciate you giving, both sides, and just free speech, the opportunity to have a platform, dude.
Got it. You got it. Thanks for everything you've done for this country, Eli. We'll talk next time. Tell Jen hello, and I'll have this ready in a couple of hours, and you can share it and take a look. Thank you, man.
Thanks, brother.
All right. Bye-bye.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me show with your hosts, Matt, Leeroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me show, night 2 of the new studio, and Olivia's gone again.
I don't want to turn off your TVs.
Oh, yeah. Go right up to it, please. Yeah. Watch out for the camera, though. Will you remind me to fix that tonight, honey, so we can get that done? Guys and girls, Leeroy is in the green room, and what? Thanks. Next time, let me know. I'll turn them on. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to have them turn on at 7 o'clock. Yeah, I'll set the thing. Tom Shin says, I want to thank you all for your prayers. I had my surgery and doing fine. Just a bit burnout from the healing process. Feeling better every day. Awesome. Don't take the desk. And yeah, that's awesome, man. Good for you. We've got Leeroy in the green room. I'm going to bring Leeroy in right away and give Olivia a chance to get situated. Leeroy, welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me show.
Well, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Looks like
God,
you are.
The set looks amazing.
You know what I was thinking of doing is taking a picture of the backdrop and just making that your backdrop so you could feel loved and like you're here. Like take a picture.
I would love that.
Take a picture of position 4, and it would be like your home until you retire and move here.
Yeah, yeah. No, I love that. I love that idea.
Did you like that insinuation there?
Yeah, that I should move.
Yeah. Well, it's
it's closer than you think.
It's not that bad. Olivia, I'm going to do this for you. Now you are the same size as me.
Perfect.
And now we're happy.
I think you may need to turn on my headphones and my mic. I can't hear anything.
Your headphones are totally fine. What are you punched in under? Is this test?
Have Leeroy say something.
Leeroy,
check
say something.
1 2, check 1 2.
I can't hear a thing.
You can't hear me?
No.
Okay, well then you're not plugged in. So hold on a second, everybody.
This is why.
While they're figuring that out, I should probably introduce myself.
I can hear barely anything.
Matt.
What?
I can hear a teeny bit, barely anything at all.
You have your headphones.
Okay.
I have one because Hayden lost the other end to it, so I don't have the other end.
When were you going to let me know?
I just found out when I tried to put them in my ears.
Can you please put that in your ear?
Yeah.
And I will try to help you fix this. Liv?
Yeah.
Made these tighter than the Dickens, Olivia. Why is this so tight?
Do you?
Will you put it in, sweetheart? Honey?
Yeah.
Folks, while we're troubleshooting, I'm going to introduce myself. My name's Leeroy. It is not my real name, but I am a Navy Intelligence Chief Petty Officer, 22-year veteran, and I'm an expert in geopolitics, weaponry, economics, and overall a general lover of liberties. So, hopefully we should be able to get these technical issues ironed out shortly.
No.
That's a different one then.
This one.
That is...
Get this one loose.
Okay.
Okay, I got it. It's loose. Go get the over-the-ear headphones.
And while we're waiting, folks, we need to re-emphasize, re-foot stomp the absolute need for everyone to like, share, and subscribe. If you can, get this out to as many people as you like. We're going to be breaking some stuff down tonight that is really important. And it's likely news that you may not have heard anywhere else. We'll be discussing things about, China versus Taiwan, what's happening in Ukraine. We'll certainly be discussing Israel and Iran. So if you're trying to get the inside
test
scoop
1
on
2
some of
test
this
1
stuff,
2 test 1 2 test 1 2.
Yes, now you can turn them down. Thank you.
Which one? Test 1 2. Which one's moving? Test
that
1.
That one's moving.
Test 1 2 test 1 2.
Turn up.
Test 1 2 test 1 2
Up a
test
teeny
1
bit.
2 test 1 2 test 1 2
Good.
test 1 2. 4 is down, 2 is down, 1 is up. You're good?
Yes, I think I'm
Leeroy,
good.
I apologize. Go ahead and finish what you were saying,
oh,
brother.
you're good. No. I was just kind of trying to fill in some of the dead time.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you doing that, buddy. Let me just fix one more thing. Folks, we are still in the process of trying to make everything work and work smoothly. So bear with us. We apologize, but we're getting there. Olivia, is your head cut off or are you okay?
I think I'm okay.
Look at the picture. Let me know. Liv, my picture. Look at my camera. Look at you. Is your I can't see you.
Oh no, I'm fine.
Okay.
I got room above
All
my
right,
head.
and then Leeroy needs just a little zoomy. and we should be all copacetic. Little zoom in for Leeroy. There it is. All right. Sorry, folks. We've had a little bit of drama before the show. We'll have to catch up and figure out what's up with that. I want to play the new what are we calling this, Liv?
I guess it would be commercial, wouldn't it?
Yeah, this is a commercial. This is going to be the pee break commercial, and it's also going to be the donation commercial. So, we have this one.
Yes.
Right. Everybody knows that commercial. We'll occasionally play that. But right at the beginning of the show, we're going to play this just so everyone understands who we are, what we're doing, and all that type of stuff. We think this is funny. Would you call this funny, Liv?
It's hilarious, actually.
All right. Hilarious. I know it's 2 minutes and something, but this will be the intermission. We'll play this at the top of the hour and at the beginning of the show. Here we go. Let's go.
Hi, I'm Olivia Spear, host of The Dumb Show. For 3.5 years, we never asked for donations, but after Facebook demonetized us for speaking the truth, we've had to turn to the one thing big tech can't cancel: you.
I'm Hayden, Matt and Olivia's daughter. This show's never chased sponsors or sold out. We've built something honest, and it's thanks to you.
I'm Ethan, their son. Every share, every dollar, every message, you're the reason we can keep calling out the BS and bringing color back to the world going gray.
If you want to help, we take PayPal, Venmo, or snail mail. You can send it to P.O. Box 2, Round Hill, Virginia 20142.
Can't donate? No problem. Just share the show with someone who needs to hear it.
Thanks for helping us stay loud, proud, and completely uncensored. You can donate at thedumbshow.com/donate.
You know what happens when you turn the dial harder? You can make a harder grimace. The harder you grimace, the more effective it is.
You tighten it so freaking I can't do it. I can't untighten
That's
it.
what she said.
That's what she's. Oof.
Wow.
Oof. Coming in with it. Pounded. Pounded.
Ugh.
Pound.
Child
Good
got
for you.
15.
Ethan, you look like a hippie.
Totally tubular.
You know this is recording, right?
Okay, let's go. Smile. Donate. Don't start with me. Donations. Every time you don't smile, I'm going to punch you in the ribs. Donations. Take one. Scene one. Ready. Set. Ethan.
Break.
Ready. Don't screw it up.
Okay.
Ethan, don't mess this up. Ready. Set. Action. No. Whoa. Director calls action, not some stupid toddler.
But we've built something
There's no
honest.
but there. Why do you've been doing this since you were 2 years old. Try it again.
Just share the show with someone who needs to hear it.
He's so much better than you at everything.
Better than
Hayden,
all of us.
he's just like, it's just. Go ahead, Hayden.
Thanks for helping us stay loud, proud, and completely uncensored.
That's a wrap. Well done, Spear family. I bet we
Yeah,
make no
I
money.
like it.
But I'm gonna owe them money without.
Hayden, do your thing again.
Oh, yeah, cut it.
Baby shark, doo 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 doo.
You asked for a pee break, and officially that is the Don't Unfriend Me commercial. We heard
That was Amy that asked for a pee break.
Yeah, well, several people asked for a Don't Unfriend Me commercial for donation to kind of understand where we were and everything else. That will be playing an hour at the beginning of the show and then at the 8 o'clock hour.
Well, it worked because I have to pee.
Yeah, well, that's not what we want. We want you to donate. We don't want you to pee. But if you could pee while you're donating, that would be awesome. Hey, Matt, next time you host a fundraiser show, you should have it hosted by the kids the whole time. I think the kids would be great. But I really love that that Hayden and Ethan and Olivia did it, and I got to kind of stay out of it. And I think when Leeroy gets to retire a little bit here and Amy gets a little more free time out of spring market, I would like to take a step back on some things and allow other people to kind of run the show once in a while, because you trust me after 4 years. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun making it, and we had a good time. Tonight on the show, a bunch of topics, obviously. We can kind of start off with, I think we'll start off just kind of like the top 10 things that you probably did not hear about in the news. And that'll give us a chance to kind of catch up and kind of go from there. Former Hamas hostage Eden Alexander returns to New Jersey officially. Now, when you are taken by a foreign entity, there is a very large debrief that takes place.
Yeah.
And considering that he was held for almost 2 years, that debrief is going to be longer than most. And really, it's also to ensure health is right, psychological counseling is provided, and then obviously a very large debrief. Leeroy, anything we're missing here on?
No, I think so. When someone comes back from a situation like that, the first thing the U.S. government will do is, prior to the debriefing, is they will offer psychological help. They will offer aid to get that person's mind correct, to kind of ease the stress. But shortly thereafter, because all of those events will still be fresh, they will debrief them to the nth degree, which, in a very casual setting.
Yeah.
It'll be one of those, it'll almost be like what you see at the end of every detective show when they hand the card at the end of it and say, if you think of anything else, give us a call.
Yeah,
it'll be like that. Yeah,
exactly. Here is the video from Fox News in regards to Eden Alexander. We'll have Olivia and Leeroy take a watch of this, and we'll be right back after that.
Listening live as Tenafly welcomes home 21-year-old American-Israeli Eden Alexander.
This is it. Eden. Oh, man. There he goes, Martha. He is back in his hometown of Tenafly, New Jersey.
Nice.
Right in that car, driving by. As you see, the streets are lined with his friends and family. Just a celebration of love. Families have come out here together. There are so many signs saying, "Welcome home, Eden." Israeli flags, American flags. The alliance not only playing out in the Middle East, but obviously you see here just a really special moment for everybody here in Tenafly, a small town, 15,000 people.
Listening live as Tenafly welcomes home 21-year-old American-Israeli.
You gotta say
Eden
that's
Alexander.
that's what?
That's awesome.
Yeah, it is awesome.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what it would be like to be in a situation like that. I wouldn't want to be in a situation like that. Leeroy, have you ever ran across any POWs or had a conversation with any POWs?
No, I have never met a POW, anybody who was held hostage, or nothing like that. But as we were watching that video, I thought to myself, I don't watch a lot of Fox, so this could have easily gone under the radar. Why aren't the other networks carrying it?
Isn't that
I wonder.
Isn't that a great question? Because they're not. It's sad. And the fact that I have to go ahead and dig up, we did this last week. It was very popular. The top 10 stories that you may have missed. And I think a lot of people probably missed this. I know I did.
Yeah.
And because if it's not trending on Twitter, you just don't get it. So, it's a good thing. So welcome home.
Right.
It's what should have happened a long time ago under
Should have happened to all of them.
Yeah, under an ill-effective president of Joe Biden, who didn't do anything he should have to protect Americans and Israeli Americans abroad. And I think he made us less safe.
I really do too. I
Yeah.
would definitely have to.
I would
with that.
agree, and I would also point out the contrast of those types of welcome homes. So in cases where you have, somebody who was held prisoner, then comes home, right, gets a warm welcome like that. Like, most of the media would have you believe that there's a high percentage of Americans that are either anti-Semitic or that hate flows both ways. But when we saw that was just nothing but people who were welcoming that person home.
Right.
Good on them. Thank God for that. And it just, again, contrast that to all of the rioting and all of the protests that we've seen for the last several weeks. That was nice. That was refreshing.
Yeah. Yeah. And but I don't think people give Trump credit for what he truly does.
No.
And I want you to think about from the Korean War and then World War II, Battle of Taipei or Taipan, sending in Force Recon Marine divers, disabled divers, surprisingly enough, and having them vacuum up the remains and bring them home. North Korean soldiers from the Korean War brought them home. And exchanges that he's had with Russia and Iran, and he gets the job done. And you can say whatever you want, and of course, you can say Orange Man bad and all that type of stuff, but really, the guy gets it done, and you should be proud of that. And if you can't say, "Hey, great job, Trump," at least at that time, then you've just got a problem. Like you are the problem.
You remember about 2 years back, we were having a show and we were talking about the inability for most people to acknowledge the good things that the other side had done. And Matt had called out on the show that when Joe Biden was a senator, I think he was a senator, right?
Yeah.
That he had petitioned for the extra armor in Humvees.
And MRAPs.
And and MRAPs. And we were able to go, yeah, good on Joe Biden for doing that. Like, you have to be able to acknowledge that. And then you also have to be able to acknowledge the shakier calls that have happened, even when they're on your side of the political aisle. And I feel like we do that pretty well.
I think so. Olivia, what's going on in Rumble World?
I have absolutely no idea. I'm still trying to set up my windows.
All right.
Since I switched sides, I had to switch everything on the TV.
Okay,
so
that's okay. I
there.
appreciate you getting it situated. So we'll continue. Thanks, James. We'll continue to do that. Just had a donation, CJ Jenkins. Thank you, CJ. We certainly needed it tonight. It's been a rough month, and last night really, I think the anxiety we had after the show was Olivia was like, "Oh, everything's going to be fine," and I'm freaking out. I'm like, we haven't seen a night like that in a long time, and you think you launch the studio, it's just going to crush, and it's going to be a great night. We had 500 people on. I mean, we're already climbing right now to big numbers. But yeah, it was a little scary. Leeroy is going to have. I'm going to shoot the background of the show. Bobby Richardson donated $21.10. Love you all. Thank you, Bobby. But we're going to take a shot of the fourth station. So, and then put that on his background from now on. So basically it looks like he's in the show. But anyway, we do appreciate it. Thank you guys for getting some donations in. We're already at $98.84. The donation window is back up. We're really excited about that. It went down last night. So your donations will be seen. Here is, I guess you could say number 9 of what you may not have seen is Trump administration launches major health initiative to support East Palestine residents after disastrous chemical spill. Not Palestine, but Palestine.
No, that's Ohio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm proud to announce the Secretary Kennedy and NIH Director Jay that the Trump administration is launching a program to look at the long-term effects of what happened in East Palestine, Ohio. I am certainly not going to play the whole clip, but here is some of it for your consumption.
Something that happened early on when I was United States Senator. There was a terrible train crash, and then there was a controlled burn of toxic chemicals that went into the atmosphere in East Palestine, Ohio, a little town in the northeastern corner of the state of Ohio. What happened then is that people got very worried, and I've been to East Palestine a number of times, and they're very worried about what are the long-term impacts of these chemicals in the water, in the air. What effect does it have on their kids and grandkids after 5 years, 10 years, 15 years of exposure? And the crazy thing is, number one, we didn't have a good answer to that question. Science had never actually tried to understand what the long-term exposure of these trace chemicals would do to people. And the second crazy thing is that as much as I tried as United States Senator to work with the Biden administration, they refused to do anything to actually study the effects of these long-term exposures on the people of East Palestine. Well, now we have a new president and a great new Secretary of Health and Human Services, and he's got an incredible announcement. We're finally going to study the effects on these chemicals and finally get to the bottom of what effect this terrible train crash and the ensuing consequences had on the people of East Palestine.
Not necessarily something we need to dive into, because any type of research into something like this is long overdue. I mean, come on. We saw the reaction. Pete Buttigieg, who didn't show up for 3 weeks, and Biden never actually even showed up.
He never actually went.
No, didn't at all. So, you know, I mean, a lot of this is posthumous from the event, but it's certainly not posturing. And you know, what I would love to see, I mean, this is great for East Palestine, Ohio, but what I would love to have is a in-depth investigation into the long-term effects of COVID when it came to mental health of this country. Now, I know there's independent studies, but I would like to see a medical journal study of this, of what the long-term effects are, so we could rate the level of deterioration and setback in people's psyche, so it never happens again. I mean, you could sit here and say, well, it's against the Constitution, that's why it should never happen again. And of course we all agree, but the impact would be like, you know, exposing people to radiation, or,
Right.
you know, having certain type of cancer or carcinogens in our food. Is there certain things we should not do, no matter how extreme of a case, or how it makes things easier or simpler in the short term, but has long-term detrimental effects? I want to see those studies. Any thoughts on that, Olivia? You've got to see our kids. You got to see what we went through with both of them during COVID, and then even our own relationship and what happened. So you got to take a second on that.
Yeah, COVID kind of screwed us up. I mean, considering we had just moved here 2 months before COVID hit, and
yeah, just
so,
push that up. It's got to be right up in your chin.
Yeah, didn't have a chance to fix it. So it just messed with us. Our kids only had 6 weeks of school before COVID hit. So basically they had no friends. So they felt alone. Not only were they upset that they had to leave all their friends in Texas, they had no friends here. And then Matt and I were not getting along, and it was a really bad year.
Yeah, it's a tough time.
Very
It was
tough.
A bad 2 years. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's true. It took us a while to just get back to normal after, because, you know, normally when you move, it takes you a while to get used to the new house and the new school and the new community and get settled. Well, we didn't have a chance to go through the normalcy of a normal move, because then all of a sudden we've got COVID, and it was just the move. The kids get pulled out of school. I was a stay-at-home mom for almost 10 years, and I decided to start a job, and it was supposed to be part-time while the kids were at school. I started 2 weeks before COVID hit. So all of a sudden, you know, dad's out of the house
Became
every day.
necessity.
Yeah, dad's out of the house every day for work. Mom's at home. All of a sudden went from mom's out of the house, dad's at home, and the kids are home. And I'm having to juggle doing their schooling and, you know, working. And it was a
hard.
complete and total mess.
it was hard.
It was very hard.
Real quick.
Before
Yeah. Just one
move
second.
on.
I want to address this because it already passed.
Okay.
Mel was asking, were there any baselines done in East Palestine? I know, or Palestine. I know for a fact that lakes, tributaries, and rivers are soil sampled constantly, or at least they're supposed to be. And that is supposed to be done by several different organizations to ensure that the not just for like freshwater trout and fish and that it's good for the birds and the animals drinking it, but predominantly when it goes into some sort of water table, which most of these lakes, rivers, and streams do, that it doesn't poison the populace. So to answer your question, Mel, I don't know, but it should be done all the time. But then again, all fire extinguishers should be checking video cameras, and those have like a 72% failure rate after the first 5 years of installation, if that tells you anything. So I don't know what to tell you. Leeroy or Olivia, go ahead with your thing, and then Leeroy, please.
Today, checked the mail, and we got a...
Sorry.
Ooh.
There you go.
Oh, that's right. That was under Amy last
Yeah,
night.
I gotta remember that.
We'll check the mail today, and we got a donation in the mail from Mike Roch for $33.33. So just wanted to give a shout out to you. Thank you very, very much. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Mike. We do appreciate
Thank
it,
you, Mike.
absolutely. And that went on the last weekend's total, not tonight's, but we do appreciate you sending that in to us. Leeroy, go ahead, buddy. What did you have on that?
Yeah, I as much as I understand the need for people with advanced chemical engineering degrees and the need for these products to be in certain things that we consume.
Go back to that window right there.
I always felt like I'm with JFK, or I'm sorry, RFK Jr. on this one. I'm always a little bit dubious about things like vaccines. I grew up in a generation where smoking was prevalent and PVC plastics and aspartame was in everything. Everything with the frying pan coatings that appear to be leaching to everyone's food, and water additives, fluorine, EPA talking about that kind of thing. The toxic toilet paper that you've seen advertised from celebrities in Hollywood, where they tell you that formaldehyde and all of that is on toilet paper, and it's basically going to give you cancer. I've always been a little bit dubious about the chemical industry to begin with. I know we need it, but I just wish there was more regulation on it. And in this case, that's not a comment that you hear from me very often, is where I want more regulation on something. But in this case, I absolutely get behind it, because we just don't know long-term what those chemicals will do to us.
Yeah. Well, listen, some effort is better than no effort at all. You know what I mean? We know it's hot mics, everybody. We're trying to. Olivia can't hear me otherwise because the headphones are wrong. We don't care about hot mics.
Yeah, I let Hayden use my earbuds.
Is there any time whatsoever that we are like hiding about
anything?
Yeah, anything. We don't care. Yeah, we don't care if there's a hot mic. We don't say anything stupid, but we're trying to figure it out because we've got Nick's link that we're trying to find, but for some reason we can't find it. Then I saw a donation pop up that I think we passed up, so I'm trying to fix that. So we apologize. What's up?
Sounds like the frogs are out tonight. I wouldn't doubt it.
Why are we talking about frogs?
Because I hear them. No, I let Hayden use my earbuds during our little commercial filming, and she lost one of the little things on the earbuds,
well,
so I can't wear them right now.
All right, so can I have that link for Nick, please?
Yes,
while
I'm
we're doing
doing
this?
it right now.
Number 8, Caroline Leavitt reveals President Trump has instructed the U.S. Senate to remove all 1.4 million illegal aliens from Medicaid to put America first. This is a massive, massive order, and this should be leading every news channel because, I mean, let's face it. I mean, this is what we voted for. Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. Did you see that number was 1.4 million?
Yeah, 1.4 million.
Huh.
Yes, 1.4 million. So that's the total. Let me get this real quick and do this. Hey, Libby.
Yes.
You can put this in chat too.
Yeah, I was going to. I just had to find
everybody.
it,
This is Nick's.
Myself.
Go over for Still Point. If you go there to tophitmaker.org 2025/Nick-Tater, you can go ahead and sign up and get him ranked. They're number 6 overall. They're in the battle of the bands to get recognized by Rolling Stone. This is a huge opportunity. So please, if you have not had a chance, please go do that for us and help out Nick. That would mean the world to us if you could. Here's the video of the 1.4 million. Carolyn Leavitt explains it much more eloquently than I from looks and sound. Here's that.
President, for one, I will reiterate, has been very clear on his priorities with respect to Medicaid. He wants to see waste, fraud, and abuse ridden.
I can't control the audio. I'm sorry.
Protected for tax-paying citizens who deserve those much-needed benefits. He wants to prioritize the sick, the needy, the poor in this country.
Can you guys hear that?
Benefits, not the ones
very, very
it's
hard.
It's breaking up pretty badly.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
really,
and that's
really
not
hard.
that's not my fault. That's the only video. The point is 1.4 million Americans, not illegals, kicked off of Medicare. To me, that's exactly what we hired him for. It's exactly why we put him on there. And if you take a look at the overall dollars saved, is that going to stop the 37 trillion? No. Right. But if we continue to say that and just go, oh, well, it's not that big of a difference, we're never going to get ourselves out of this hole. But 1.4 million illegal aliens from Medicaid to put America first. Thoughts on this? Do you think the SCOTUS is going to challenge us? And how can they? How can we give a federally funded taxpayer program for American citizens that's being given to illegals And how can SCOTUS find that to be unconstitutional? Do you want to tell me, Leeroy?
Liv, you want to? Oh, me? I don't know how they could, but I guarantee there will be some politicians in deep blue cities who will absolutely try to bring this to the table.
Sure.
And the idea behind it is that they're going to claim, well, hey, I'm still responsible to my constituents, except that that's probably not true. You are, in essence, prioritizing illegal aliens over your constituents. And that's the distinction that they probably won't make, because I think the rest of us understand it, right? Medicaid, Medicare, all of that, those are social safety nets. Those are systems that we as American taxpayers have paid into our entire lives. So for someone to just show up and then automatically get these, that of my money, basically, that I've helped fund, that Matt has helped fund, that Olivia, that you, the viewer, have helped fund, for that person to get those benefits immediately, that should raise an eyebrow. That should torque everyone off. I'm not saying that I want to be a cold-hearted bastard about it and say, oh, no, we need to make sure that there's a proper bean counting, accountability thing here. We need to be just a little more responsible with our taxpayer money, right? I think that's where we're headed with this. And I think this is a great first step.
Olivia, how much do we pay for insurance?
I think $65 a month.
Yeah, almost $1,100 a month for a family of 4, and it's pretty much the shittiest coverage that they have. Is that fair to say? Well, it's middle of the road.
I have to say, it's better than the personal coverage we had when we first moved here in 2020 that we had to get because your company didn't provide health insurance at the time.
Yeah, that was crap.
It was a little bit cheaper. It was about $140 cheaper, but it was honestly almost better to just not have insurance and pay out of pocket for any visits than it was to have that insurance. This is actually a little bit better. It's not better than any company insurance we've ever had through employers, but it's not the worst insurance, but I mean, what can you do?
do we think that illegals help the insurance premiums or increase the insurance premiums? Can we have that dialogue? And does it really harm to have more people not pay into the system versus people actually paying into the system?
I think it hurts.
Well, why? Let's talk about why.
I think I don't think it's the insurance companies that are making us pay that much. It's specifically them. I think it's hospitals and doctors, and they are having to cover the cost of free health care for illegal aliens. And
at a reduced cost. I mean, the government is giving them something, but it's a massive reduction.
Extremely reduced cost. So that cost has to go to someone.
Right.
So they're charging more, which means the insurance companies are having to pay more when American citizens who have insurance go to the doctor, go to the eye doctor, go to the ER for whatever reason. So insurance companies are having to pay more because the hospitals and the doctor's offices are having to charge more. So it's not the insurance companies per se, but yes, we are getting footed with the bill with higher insurance because illegals are getting free health care when we should be getting something as opposed to them. And frankly, it really pisses me off that my money that I've earned for my family and my children is going to someone else that shouldn't be here in the first place.
Right.
I should be able to, I should be saving. I shouldn't have to pay almost $1,100 in health insurance to cover my children. And when that money could be put into their savings accounts for college or to where, go savings account, or we could go on a vacation or do something as a family, we should be able to save that money for us because we've earned it. I shouldn't have to work to support another family. It's not my job to support your kids.
Right.
It's my job to support mine.
Leeroy, your thoughts on this, since you pay such a premium for all your insurance.
Hey, I'll be the first one to tell you that I am still on the military's TRICARE program, and it is a huge benefit for service members because the cost is so much less than what most of America sees. That's an advantage that I do enjoy. Not going to lie.
Do you
That
get
being said,
with your retirement? Do you get full medical when you're done?
I will. I will, but it takes some time. You don't get that until you start collecting, and then you have to make the transition over to TRICARE. I think it's like TRICARE Reserve Retired or something along those lines. It's its own program. Yeah.
Well, I mean, listen, it's a benefit. It's one of the things you earn. You earn it. It's not even a benefit. It was something that's contractually obligated for your fulfillment of service. So I don't hold any ill regard towards that. I just think if they took better care of us when we were in, they would have to take so much care. Try to fail at taking care of us when we're out is my point.
I wish that insurance wasn't such a necessity. I wish that we could pick and choose. Okay, so I want to pay this amount of money as insurance as a just in case for if something happens and we have to go to the ER. But it would be really nice to not have to pay $1,100 a month, which comes to 20 something thousand a year, or no, not 20. No, what, 14?
No, it's
13.
It's $12,000 plus a year, so it would be 13,000 flat.
a year.
Yeah.
Why can't I just take my kids to the doctor and pay the doctor? Because to be honest, as a healthy family, it costs less to pay out of pocket than it does every year for the insurance. But in order to get that just in case for the ER, I have to pay for everything else. The only time, and honestly, dental insurance, that's one of the main reasons we have it. But unfortunately, we don't get that much in coverage. So it's honestly almost better not even have it. I wish medical was affordable enough to where we could just pick and choose, not to actually have to pay for all the insurance.
Right, exactly. Go ahead.
I have a follow-up question to that, actually. Would you vote for a politician that advocated for the abolishment of insurance companies, health insurance companies?
Livy, take it.
I mean, I would like to, but in the end, I would think that would just be a campaign promise, and they would do absolutely nothing once they got into office.
Probably.
I'd be very, very just critical about the whole thing. I wouldn't believe it.
It'd be a kiss of death.
Exactly.
I had read. The reason I ask is I had read, this is years ago, I read a book and it was called Open Wide and Say Moo. And it was a critique at the time of Obamacare. And during the course of the book, this particular author, who was a doctor himself, went through the history of the healthcare industry. And back in like the 50s or 40s, whatever it was, health insurance was actually kind of brought about as a additional benefit for corporate types. Because prior to that, you had there was this classic Americana type imagery of the door-to-door doctor, the guy that carried around his tools in the bag. And that was far more common then, before the invention of hospitals and things like that. But you fast forward through that a little bit, the government jumped in bed with the health insurance industry and basically started giving companies tax breaks if they offered health insurance to their employees. And ever since then, healthcare has gone downhill, while progressively getting more expensive. And it's just another example of when the government gets involved with something, it makes it a slower process, a more expensive process, and generally speaking, more people are dissatisfied with it.
To answer a viewer's question, I do not qualify for TRICARE. At one point I did, and now I don't. And to be honest with you, I was required to do several annual exams. And we were in a position not very close to any military installations, and the transportation conundrum really threw us for a bind. And then when I finally got healthy, I was no longer disabled at the level that I was rated. So I simply rescinded my separation pay for medical separation. And a lot of people have said that's stupid. I don't consider it stupid. I consider it to be honorable. And a lot of people think it's dumb. I don't. I'm no longer disabled. The injuries that I sustained, although flare up, they certainly don't deserve a 90 disability rating. But yeah, I don't qualify for TRICARE. So, and that's fine. I don't need it. It's not, listen, in my opinion, did not serve long enough to warrant any medical benefit from the military minus dental, because the dental that they put me in was $30,000. And I had to go back and sue the VA essentially for my back. And we didn't get any care for that either.
No, we did not.
You know, it is what it is. Like the U.S. government and I have a very unhappy relationship with each other because of the way that we were treated. And a lot of vets were missed. A lot of vets, if you weren't,
That's true.
If you weren't combat infantry, a lot of people were left by the wayside. And there are so many other things other than grunts in the military. But it seems to me like if you weren't doing something that was outside the wire constantly, that you didn't receive the same considerations. And even if you spent a little bit of time outside the wire or trained in situations for training outside the wire and injuries took place, unless you were rated, 51 Bravo or, in the Marine Corps, they kind of lowballed the Navy and Air Force guys. That's like, I don't think I've seen one Navy guy outside of team guys and EOD and corpsmen who are rated at 100%. I don't think I've ever met one. And I have spoken to 40,000 veterans in my life, maybe 50,000. I don't think I've ever seen a veteran rated at 100%. I mean, I was in traction. I had broken back, ruptured my spleen, hip, knees, clavicle, collarbone, separated shoulder, broken wrist, fractured orbital bone, fractured cheekbone, 4 dislodged upper teeth, 3 on the lower, cracked sinus canal, 3. Just get her down, please. So a lot of damage. And even I didn't qualify for 100%, which is insane. It's insanity.
Yeah.
But when I was in, the VA was much different than it is now. Bill Clinton's VA was essentially, it was like getting a preacher's daughter's bra off at prom night.
I heard they're a little freaky.
Yeah, that's the best one I could come up with. Your thoughts on that? Any challenges on that, buddy?
No, I would completely agree with that. Most of the people that I know that are at 90 and above are people who did most of their work outside the wire. Now, I will take one exception. I know a guy, a personal friend of mine, who was on an aircraft, and this was over in DJ, and the pilot had asked him to stand up at one point to retrieve something, and just then their aircraft had hit a pocket of air, cold air. So my friend, his head came in direct contact with the top of the aircraft, and it was bad enough that they thought he had a broken neck.
Oh.
And they brought him home, and he did not have a broken neck, but what he did have was blindness, complete 100% blindness in one eye, and light sensitivity in the other eye. And he would often go into these seizures. He would have these seizures where he couldn't control his arms.
Oh, jeez.
Couldn't figure it out. Could not figure it out. And I was working next to him when the skipper, our CO, who was kind of a he was kind of a jackass at the time. He was berating this guy, basically like, why are you going to get out? What's your problem kind of deal. And in the meantime, literally while they're having that conversation, my friend, his name was Don, he started having a seizure. And I'm like,
jeez,
dude, back off him.
Yeah.
He is the only person that I know of who, from the Navy, from the IS community, was able to get 100%.
Yeah, like I told you, it's difficult. I mean, even to get rated 75, because even when you can SEP at 75, but you're downrated the moment you report to your VA hospital. So like you get to your VA hospital and you're going to be downgraded to a 50. It's just impossible, So I just got sick of fighting it. I don't even have my 103.84 Mel makeup for missing last night.
Thank you, Mel.
Mel, we need it desperately, folks. And please, guys and girls, don't step off the gas. Like, it has been a very bad month. We need some help, and we really want to get the show going. So please continue. Thank you, Mel. Anyway, I don't even have I can go on base, but I don't even have the family with their I don't even know what they're called anymore. The pink cards. So what do they call them now? Civilian base access ID cards.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't remember. We used to call them pink. We used to call them pink cards. So your military ID was green card. Family was pink card. I don't know what they are now. I don't even know what color they are. They might be white for all I know.
Like
but anyway,
a dependent card almost.
Yeah. It's to get on a base. You're a civilian. You get off on a base. Yeah.
Well, I mean, most bases have like your banking facility is going to be on the base. You're still allowed to shop at the commissary if you're retired or if you have any sort of disability. So you're allowed to do all that stuff.
I just haven't. I haven't taken the time to do it. I need to.
Yeah.
I need to heal with Uncle Sam, and I would love to go show the kids the bases. And there's some great bases out here, and I need to get on. So I just need to go and do it, and I know what to do. I've just got to go and do it. So. Okay. So folks, let's see. We are at 202.32. Thank you so much for that. Jared, I'm glad you're safe and alive. 2 new studies estimate we're seeing 5 to 10 self-deportations for every formal deportation, which is incredible. 5 to 10 self-deportations for every formal, which equates to the current numbers of 500,000 to 1 million self-deportations in just 4 months. If we can continue that
What's that
number,
tell you?
It tells me something other than if we can continue to do that, Donald Trump's on the precipice of 10 million self-deportations to coincide with 1 million deportations of himself at the finest, and at the least 5 million deportations, an additional 10. So it's either a 50% or 100% return. But what does it tell you?
I have a question.
Well,
this might be a stupid question, but what's a self-deportation? Is that somebody who realizes I'm leaving before I get deported?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Right. So that was under Donald Trump's promissory to say, look, if you self-deport, then when you do choose to come back in and go through the legal process, you won't be banned. But if we have to deport you, if we have to track you down and do it, Uncle Sam style, you will not come back to the United States.
Got it.
So
Okay.
that falls right in line with my point, which was that tells me that by and large, 90% of the people who came here are willing to go through that process. They're willing to stand in line and fill out the paperwork and wait their turn in line on the promise that they could still come here and participate in the American machine. So I love that messaging, and I love the numbers.
Yeah,
I think that's encouraging more than anything else.
Yeah, and you won't see this on CNN or anywhere else. And I don't even think I saw it on Fox today. Mel says, we get to reassess our disability rating every 3 years. Are you not allowed to revisit your percentage up? No, because I'm not 90% disabled. And I'm not going to go pretend I am. I am 100% able to work. And I do. After what we did in here, how could I sell that? Deadlifting 150-pound doors with my arms. Come on. It's just, I'm fine. I'm in good shape. I've had the surgeries. I've had the rehabilitation. I take care of my body. I've got a full gym downstairs. Leeroy's seen it. I take care of myself.
Yeah.
I'm in good shape for a 51-year-old. And if I revisit, they're going to laugh me out of the room. You know what I mean? And I don't need it. I really don't. Number 6, Piers Morgan had a guest on. His name was George Calloway. And honestly, he's on Piers' show quite a bit. It was very strange, to say the least. He kind of looks like, what was that show we watched? The Blacklist with James Spader?
Oh, I love that. So, God, those shows bother me, but I love James Spader so much.
Yeah, James Spader's awesome. But this guy basically looks like James Spader when he's 96. Give this a watch. Very weird conversation. Listen to this. This is strange. And we'll be back for our first pee break, official pee break for the Don't Unfriend Me show. Here we go.
It's why my show's a lot more popular than yours, because I'm better at it than you. So stop the lectures about how good a journalist I am, or how good a broadcaster I am, or how good my team are, because if you were so good, George, you'd have a lot more people following you, a lot more people watching you. But most people think you become a delusional loon. And I think that's sad.
My dad is bigger than your dad.
Not my dad, just the number of people that watch my show massively dwarfs yours.
My dick is bigger than your dick. Are you really down to that, Piers? Well, I've got some evidence that it isn't, but I'll not go there because I'm actually astounded at the sheer ignorance, which I'm being very kind and calling it ignorance. I could easily call it lying. I could easily call it willful ignorance. Of
course you can.
That you didn't know there's tea ladies lying dead in the Iranian TV station.
To be
and
clear,
you interviewed Bennett and didn't even mention it to him.
To be clear.
What the hell was that about?
Yeah, what was that about?
What just happened?
Well, let me try to explain it to you. So
WTF?
Piers Morgan is doing what Piers Morgan always does. When he can't win an argument, he has to go ahead and resort to my dick's bigger than your dick.
Exactly.
And that's exactly what he just did, right? I mean, this is what the English do, right? Is they fall
My teeth are worse than your teeth.
Right. They fall they rest on their laurels, right? It's always about what the English Empire did that was good, but they never bring up what they do that was bad. They bring up the royals, why the royals are glitz and glamour and everybody loves the royals, but the atrocities that the royals have castigated upon the earth have been severe. Piers Morgan just does this. And here's the thing. If you're in a conversation with somebody and you have to say, I am more important than you, then you've already lost the conversation, because
exactly
comparison. I have said this a million times, and I paraphrase it from others who've said it better. But comparison is the absolute, just the sludgery and drudgery of progress. And if I'm going to compare myself to Tim Pool, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to look at Tim Pool's network, and I'm going to look at his followers, right? But I also saw that Tim Pool had 200 people on today. Well, I know I've got 70, 80 people on Facebook, and I don't have nearly the following. So does that make me more successful than Tim Pool? No. And if I was in a conversation with Tim Pool, would I say, dude, have you seen my Facebook numbers versus yours? If you have to do that, you have a very weak argument. So what happened there? The proverbial dick measuring that Piers Morgan participates in is afoot. Another topic.
Mr. Frank Wood, you are my second family.
Wood
Love you.
donated
$51.99.
$51.99.
Thank God.
You are my second family. We love you. Thank you, Frank.
Thank you, sir.
Frank, that is a wonderful time to go into our first pee break. We are an hour and 4 minutes in. We appreciate it. And here is our first pee break, and hopefully me getting my shake. We will be right back. Watch this. It's funny.
Hi, I'm Olivia Spear, host of The Dumb Show. For 3.5 years, we never asked for donations. But after Facebook demonetized us for speaking the truth, we've had to turn to the one thing big tech can't cancel: you.
I'm Hayden, Matt and Olivia's daughter. This show's never chased sponsors or sold out. We've built something honest, and it's thanks to you.
I'm Ethan, their son. Every share, every dollar, every message, you're the reason we can keep calling out the BS and bringing color back to the world going gray.
If you want to help, we take PayPal, Venmo, or snail mail. You can send it to P.O. Box 2, Round Hill, Virginia 20142.
Can't donate? No problem. Just share the show with someone who needs to hear it.
Thanks for helping us stay loud, proud, and completely uncensored. You can donate at thedumbshow.com/donate.
You know what happens when you turn the dial harder? You can make a harder grimace. The harder you grimace, the more effective it is.
You tighten it so freaking I can't do it. I can't untighten
That's
it.
what she said.
That's what she's. Oof. Oof. Coming in with it. Pound it. Pound it. Pound.
Child
Good for you.
15.
Ethan, you look like a hippie.
You know this is recording, right?
Okay, let's go. Smile. Donate. Don't start with me. Donations. Every time you don't smile, I'm gonna punch you in the ribs. Donations. Take one. Scene one. Ready. Set. Ethan.
Break.
Ready. Don't screw it up.
Okay.
Ethan, don't mess this up. Ready. Set. Action. No. Whoa. Director calls action, not some stupid toddler.
But we've built something.
There's no but there. Why do you've been doing this since you were 2 years old? Try it again.
Just share the show with someone who needs to hear it.
He's so much better than you at everything.
Better than
Hayden, he's just like, even, it's just, go ahead, Hayden.
Thanks for helping us stay loud, proud, and completely uncensored.
That's a wrap. Well done, Spear family. I bet we make no money.
But I'm gonna owe them money without.
Hayden, do your thing again.
Oh yeah, cut it.
Baby shark doo 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 doo.
We certainly thank you for your support at the Don't Unfriend Me show. I'm glad we're doing the pee breaks. Everyone, I didn't think of it, but you know what? We've got an audience that we have some people who are getting up there in age.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Like most of our audience, they can take their cell phone in the can with them. Right. I know that's what I would do is just, when I have my boxers down, I just kind of rest the phone like right in the cradle. Right. That way I don't miss my favorite dumb show.
Yeah. Well, but if you can't take your phone, Hayden wasn't upset. Hayden is so thick-skinned. You can ask Leeroy on this. She is bulletproof, that girl.
Who was saying something about
Oh,
Hayden?
they were just like, Hayden, if looks could kill.
She takes after her father.
Yeah, she does. POTUS gives Iran 2 weeks to ditch nuclear hopes or else. Now, this is over much debate, right? So people are pontificating. I think the number one question is why is POTUS waiting 2 weeks, right? We'll talk about it after we watch this. Listen, and we'll have a discussion, and we can make our prognostications of all prognosticators shortly.
When he says it could last 2 weeks, I'm looking at what 2 weeks is away from, and that would be July 4th. So I could see Trump lighting up the skies over Iran on the 4th of July, or I could see him doing it this weekend. Maybe he's bluffing. I have no idea, but it looks like it's moving pretty quickly because if you take out the underground nuclear site, you can't just sit back and watch and let the Iranians retaliate and hit your bases and hit your ships. You have to have a pretty significant bombing campaign to neutralize any sort of Iranian offensive capacity. That's missiles, command and control. You got to hit everything. So you're just not a sitting duck. When we think about negotiations, Trump's made it pretty clear. This thing's either going peacefully or violently, and the decision's the Ayatollah. Ayatollah's 86 years old. He's been in power for 3 decades. He's a religious revolutionary. Is this the kind of guy that's going to negotiate? He's a proud old man that's probably going to go down fighting. Now, the question is, if you hit these underground facilities, does he stay in power? Can he stay in power? Can he wield power in a country where you've lost your ballistic missiles and you've lost your only leverage, which is your nuke? I don't know. So do you leave him in power and wait for a coup, or do the Israelis get so pissed after hospital strikes that they're going to just go in and launch a decapitation strike? I don't know. The thing about Iraq and Iran and makes it a lot different is the geography. You look at Iran, it's surrounded by mountain ranges. All right, so it's very hard for foreign fighters to pour in from all over the region. And not only do they have the borders that are surrounded by mountains, I mean, look at that. You have 2 major deserts in there. So once you get over the mountains and through, you have deserts you have to go through. So this is not Iraq. And also, if you do, God help us, if you do go in and there is some sort of coup.
You heard it here first, folks. No deserts are in Iraq.
And you have to maintain some sort of government there. Remember what happened in Iraq, the de-Baathification. That backfired. We fired everyone in the military, every cop, every civil administrator, every bureaucrat. And then all those guys got pissed off and then left with a gun to form a militia. And there's no one to run the country. So things have been learned. Or, since all options are on the table, Dana, I could see Trump just letting the Israelis get their hands even dirtier and launch commando raids into this site. So when he says all options on the table, they are. And I agree. I trust Donald Trump to make the right decision here.
I think we all trust Donald Trump to make the right decision, but why? So I think it's important to have that conversation. So before we do that, we have a donation. Leeroy?
Jeff Oliphant, who donated $26.25 and says, "My friends call me Jeffy."
I think it's Hefe.
I think it's
Thank you, Jeff.
I think it's Hefe, you
I think
literate.
it's Hefe.
It says J. It's got a J in it. It's Jeffy.
But you see the little accent, whatever it is,
Whatever.
above one of the E's, that's Hispanic. It's
Whatever.
Hefe.
Look, I am not Samoan. I don't.
Yeah.
Samoan.
I'm not El Salvadorian. I don't speak that
Oh my
stuff.
gosh.
Maybe we could join MS-13 and they could send us there and we could pick up on some of the language.
He's got my buddy's got ink. I mean, I'm just saying.
That's what we've heard. Knuckles. Why 2 weeks? Who wants to take a stab at it?
What
Maybe
happens?
4th of July.
The 4th of July. But why would he wait till 4th of July?
That's true.
I mean, no, I'm asking a
Right.
question. Why? What's in 2 weeks? Come on. What does 2 weeks signify?
2 weeks.
Yeah, that's not Total Recall. 2 weeks. Come on, guys. Play Trump here. Why would he wait? So, for instance, the sale of TikTok. Guess what just happened today?
They extended the ban for another 90 days or whatever.
How many times have they done that now?
Twice?
3 times.
3. Oh, okay.
So what happens the next 90 days? You're going to do it again. Do it again. So why would Trump put it off for 2 weeks? A lot of people are like it's 4th of July.
No, I don't think that has anything.
I don't think it has anything to do with it. He's just going to let the Israelis do it. The worst thing that could possibly happen is allow the Israelis to do it and have it not be successful or have it be partially successful, because that is not good. So that's not it. Is he waiting for another foreign country to do it? No. Why would he wait 2 weeks?
Why?
Let's go back. Well, I'm asking. I'm just. Does anyone have any ideas?
No.
Okay.
None whatsoever.
Karen says testing bunker busters.
No, those have been tested so thoroughly that there is almost little room
Doubt.
for variance within the IC community as to whether or not they would be effective or not.
They
would be effective.
They would be effective.
And Luann Felsky,
Bigly.
thank you.
2110.
Thank you very much.
And the reason why is you don't need to penetrate to destroy a facility which is heavy on electronics, heavy on reinforced steel. Those bunker busters displace so much energy. I can't even begin to explain it to you. Glenn says, give the talks a chance. No. I don't think so.
Lois Bentley said the big, beautiful bill is supposed to get done. Do you think they're waiting on that? But foreign affairs and that's a possibility, but I don't think that's okay. So let me. It's not that I know the answer. I've went through the process you've all went through and kind of thought through these things because I'm asking the question. And if you were asking the question, you would have done it too. So let me ask you this. What is the one thing that Donald Trump said when he was talking about generals and military intervention that he would never do? He would never do this one thing that they always made a mistake when it came to generals and the IC community. What would he say he would never ever do? That's to the hosts and that's to the
the Dumb Show people listening?
I have not tackled that question, so
fair enough.
I don't know. To give the Iranian people time to get out of harm's way.
Well,
was Kev.
That's not a bad thing, but honestly, he did that when they've been getting out of Tehran for a while. And Tehran has been bumper to bumper since then. And the facilities that he is going to hit are not smack dab in the middle of Tehran. It's a coastal site. And the reason why is the site. And the closer you get to the shore, the softer the soil is for bearing it. Make plans public, start a war. Ooh. Assassinate a leader, put boots on the ground. He won't tell. Well, he has told us. The thing that Trump has always said, if you go back to 2016 and you even go back to 20, is that leaders, especially America, telegraph what they're going to do and when they're coming. And that he would never, ever let the enemy know that he was coming. And I think what it does is it puts a time frame on it that makes the Iranians feel they have more time than they do, and puts them a little bit at ease from rushing the creation of a nuclear weapon, which supposedly they are just a matter of days from completing. They have all of the material. He doesn't need congressional approval to do this. He just needs to notify the Gain of 8. And it because this is the intelligence we're hearing right now, is that if the Ayatollah wants to put together a nuclear device, they are a matter of hours from completing it if they decide to do it, days. That they have everything they need to create a nuclear weapon at this time. That's the intelligence that's coming out. So you put that 2 weeks mark on it to say, we can observe, we can watch. You know, Assad has infiltrated every single power plant in that in Iran. You know, they have line of sight intelligence groups to every movement that they're making. Right. And it gives Donald Trump the chance to say, we're going to watch, and if you blink, you're going to die. But it also gives the Iranians a chance to not lose something on the world stage. And what is that? Face. Iranians. Hold on a second. Iranians care so much about their image because they have so many different proxy groups and terrorist groups that are looking to them that they don't want to go to war with Israel. They really don't. They have no desire to go to war with Israel, knowing that this would happen, what just happened. And I'm not saying they're passive. They've earned everything that they've done, but that's why they've been running proxies for 25 years, folks. And this is the first time this year that they've actually attacked Iran blatantly. This gives them a chance to not proceed with building a nuclear warhead and gives them the time to do so, where Donald Trump feels, in my opinion, that he can watch this. And if they blink, he's going to blow them to frickin' Allah. But if they don't, then that ultimately changes the narrative about Iran's passion to have a nuke now. And if that changes the narratives, then they're playing a game of communique through chess pieces, just like Khrushchev and Kennedy did during the Bay of Pigs. No direct communication, but talking on the world stage by moving the chess pieces of the board. This, in my opinion, is what Trump is doing. That's my gut feeling. Leeroy, please go ahead. I'm sorry I that took so long.
No. I could buy a lot of that argument. I'm not sure about the 2 week thing, but you're right that Iran, they're very proud. They love to be able to advertise their capabilities. They love to showboat, as does Russia. So and I don't think it's a trade secret here, but Iran had bought several Russian missile systems, the S-300 and the S-400 system. And when they bought them, the sales pitch that Russia always gives is, hey, if you buy our systems, right, this will eliminate the chance of Western fighter aircraft being able to penetrate your airspace. Our systems will neutralize that. Fast forward to an actual conflict like we just saw happen, and with a handful of F-35s going in and completely neutralizing most of those sites, I really think Iran has to kind of, I don't know, rethink their level of stability, right? They're going to, and it's a really shitty sales pitch from Russia too, because now that that's out in the open, like if you're another foreign country, the what was the name of that advanced fighter that Russia was trying to sell to? Was it India?
Yeah. I don't remember.
It's like they're super advanced, 5th gen. It was in that Maverick movie, right? Well, fast forward, you find out the damn thing doesn't work.
Right.
Right. So is there the possibility that Iran has to rethink all of this stuff, and knowing that they are in fact standing there naked, knowing that they have no defenses, and all they can do is send up their their bottle rockets and just see how much damage they can do? I don't know, man. This is a hell of a situation. I don't know.
Well, Natanz and Fordow are toast. So, there's
Fordow is still working, right?
Right, but it's toast. It's gone. That's my point. Natanz is done, but Fordow is it's a foregone conclusion that it's gone. It's toast. Either the Jews are going to take it out, or the United States is going to take it out, assisting the Jews. That thing will not be standing no matter what happens.
Right.
It's going to go away. It's how are they going to do it? Honestly, here's my personal opinion. You lay down as much fire within 100 kilometers around that area. You take out all man pads and surface to air missiles that are remaining, which are pretty much nil. And you send in Israeli commando groups. And you breach it and clear it. And they don't have the manpower. You can put 30,000 soldiers there, and it won't matter because there's no fortified positions around the facility. They're going to be open. There's no cover. You can stick them in the facility, and all you got to do is just drop one bomb down the center of that thing, and it's going to kill every one of them. Mm-hmm. It's not a fortified position. It's not like it's in the center of a base like Bagram, and it's surrounded by mountains and everything. It's in a soft cops, man-made hill. It's very, very deep. We understand this, but an Israeli commando team could go in there and kill them.
Do you think that we'll get involved?
I think we will. I think 2 weeks is. I think you have Israeli commandos right now, and you have. Okay, I'm just gonna say this, and you know what? I have no information that would confirm or deny this, but I have a very, very good feeling that IDF, Assad, and either DevGru or Delta are in pocket, building a strike team as a contingency right now, running the plays, running a facility similar to Fordow, and doing a full insertion and breach and clear and terminate and collect right now. And Green Team and DevGru are facilitating training. That's my gut. Because that's what the 2 weeks gives you. It gives you options. The one thing you don't want to do is cold insert a team, right? You don't want to cold insert a team. You want to give them the training, and they're going to be able to do 100 evolutions between now and the next 72 hours to 96 hours and train the shit out of this based on the intel that they have from Assad and IDF. And they've got the full layout. They know who's in there. They know which targets to hit. They know which HVTs are in there. And they go in and they send in the commando team to wipe it out. That's my gut. That's what the 2 weeks gives you. Not just bunker busters, not just high altitude bombing, but also gives you team operational ability to send a strike team in there to wipe everybody out. And do I think the teams in Delta will go in there? Honestly, I think they'll have Delta observers and maybe a couple team observers lasing targets, lasing defense systems, taking out 100 kilometers around there, anything that's squawking, anything that just has a fucking light on it is going to get knocked out. And then they send a team in, do low-level chopper insertion, rappel down, go in, kill everybody in the whole place. That's what I would do if I was, because that's the only way you can be sure.
Yeah. I see this as one of 4 possibilities within the next 2 weeks.
Okay.
I see that we as Americans will do nothing, right? And just let Israel do what it wants to do. That's 1. 2, we will offer some sort of support, i.e., when the time comes, we might offer suppression aid in the air, right? Just because of the air dominance that we come with. I see the possibility that Matt is talking about where we help train teams to go in, destroy these facilities, destroy the doctors and the PhDs and everyone who's like working underground to help Iran develop these weapons. And then
can I chime in?
Sure.
I want to make sure I understand it. Everyone understands what I'm saying. Not join or train, because Shayatet 13 or Flotilla is one of the most premier naval special forces groups in the world. And they rival the teams. And they are exceptionally trained. What my opinion is that U.S. would assist on taking out secondary defensive targets for Israel that may pop up, especially man pads, because Israel has wonderful fixed position acquisition, but man portables are a pain in the fucking ass. Even the United States has a problem hitting these things because they're portable. So what you don't want is Israel to fly in and then all of a sudden get squawked and you start losing special forces aircraft, because we know what that feels like in Afghanistan. And then you can't spin up a QRF team. It's just when you've got surface to air missiles in the area, it shuts everything down, everything except for a drone. So that was my point, is that they would be there to take out secondary targets, if at all. Sorry, Leeroy, go ahead. I'm sorry for 4.
Oh, you're good. And then my 4th potential, right, outcome is full on. We'll use B2s or B21s to come in and drop some bunker busters, followed up with a Moab or something along those lines that will completely eviscerate those facilities. Fordo is the last nuclear manufacturing facility that they have that's standing. Natanz, as I understand it,
Natanz is toast.
Their centrifuges are offline. And even if they could get them back online, which is highly improbable, it would take a complete repair and reworking of the entire power structure of the facility, which is still going to take months and months and months to do, because it has to be done very precisely. So
it's my understanding that Natanz also has a foundational crack to a point of detriment, that it has foundational and structural damage that's non-repairable. That's what I'm hearing. Outside of reactors and cooling systems and everything else, is that foundational damage that makes it essentially inoperable. Imagine going 3 degrees off center of your vehicle in a collision. You're toast. You might as well scrap the fucking thing. You're done. You're not going to rebend that into shape and have any integrity left. My understanding is Natanz is in that situation.
I didn't hear that. That's good. That's good.
But
So Fordo is really the last. It's really the last facility standing.
Yeah.
Which means that we've got plenty of time to figure out, how we're going to contend with it. And while we're doing that, for the next 2 weeks, if Israel did nothing but focus in on the facilities that are part of the supply chain for the manufacturing of the current missile systems that they have, the Fatah 110s and the Khyber Shakans and all that. If they focus in on the supply chain, manufacturing facilities for those, that's money in the bank right there. That's gold. That would remove their capability to manufacture those for the next 20 years. Minimum.
So good questions by a bunch of people. Why is Trump saying we control the skies over Iran, or our planes are invisible? Because they are. Because we don't need to get within 500 miles of Iran in order to damage them to a point of any resistance that they put up. We've got aircraft that have over the horizon targeting that's far superior than anyone else in the world. Second, they can't hit our stealth aircraft. Not with what they have left.
F-35 just proved that.
Yeah, you just with what they have left. I mean, it's basically man portables and shoulder fire missiles. You're not going to get anywhere against the U.S. military with that, because these things are going to come in at 30,000 feet and then be nape of the earth in a matter of 15 seconds. You're just not going to get that with a Stinger or any type of off-market shoulder-mounted missile. Second, Olivia, I apologize. We're going as fast as we can. Karen says, would that cause any nuclear fallout? Well, yeah, on an above-ground facility or a semi-subterranean facility, but Natanz is deep embedded in the earth.
Right.
And the one great thing about Iran is that it is literally like digging through clay and hardened clay. And there is nothing better to insulate, as we know, with clay pots that was used for thousands upon thousands of years by other civilizations as the go-to. As a hardened wooden spear and clay are fantastic at not conducting levels of heat that detriment its structural integrity. And could there be fallout? Sure. I mean, there could absolutely be atmospheric fallout. It could hit to a water table, which is doubtful in the desert. But there's ways that you certainly probably don't want to go ahead and grill a steak on a rock in that area for a while. But do I believe that that it would irradiate the area? No. And that's not the way these systems work. Usually a meltdown is because you have a failure to hold the nuclear energy at capacity, and therefore it loses its integrity, and then a leak happens. That's not what happened here. What you had here was a structural failure, and there are backup systems when power is lost to shut these systems down so it doesn't do what you just said. This isn't the China syndrome from 1970 anymore with Michael Douglas and Jane Fonda. But you don't want to be dropping bombs in reactors. One other question, Dean. I'll let you take this, Leeroy. What if Iran has a missile built and they launch it at Israel? Could it be taken out before it impacts?
When you say what kind of missile?
Nuclear is what he's asking.
Oh, if they launched a nuclear missile? Well, I am unfamiliar with exactly, the tools that Israel would use, but if they're using their version of a Golden Dome, which is their Iron Dome, basically, it has a very high effective rate for missile neutralization exactly that scenario, right? They've been preparing for this for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
And I want to say that Iron Dome is something like 95% effective of the several hundred missiles, and I mean several hundred missiles that were recently launched. Only a handful have gotten through. Now, I suppose if I were Iran and I wanted to up my chances for penetration into Israel, I would launch a couple of hundred missiles at the same time and then hide a nuclear missile in with that salvo just to see if
Trojan horse,
if that would help. Right. But I don't think they have that capability yet, and I think that's exactly what Israel is trying to prevent. We know that from recent studies that they were still days away, if not weeks away, from the actual production of a nuclear weapon. So, and that being said,
and understand this is that they're medium range ballistic missiles. There's about 3,000 missiles left that can reach Tehran. Well, the only problem is, scratch that, what I just said, complete fucking slip. There's 3,000 missiles that have the potential to reach Tel Aviv, Israel,
right,
or somewhere inside the Israeli borders. But there's really only about 1,000 missiles that can get in and have the targeting acquisition systems that will not be intercepted because first of all, they're slow moving hunks of junk. And Leeroy also said a lot of the missiles didn't penetrate. He's absolutely right. And a lot of people think the system was overwhelmed. A lot of the damage you're seeing in Israel is from 16,000 pound fuselages, not detonating, that are falling from the sky in terminal velocity. And if you don't understand what that means, let me go ahead and tie together 5 F-250s and drop them from 3,000 feet. And you predict the size of the hole and how much damage that would bring down any building just from the sheer force. 186 some odd miles an hour, 180 miles an hour with 13,000 tons, 16,000 tons on some of these missiles. That's
speed times mass equals a crater.
Yeah, right. And a lot of death. So understand this. If they do a medium range missile, and not all of their missile systems can retrofit a nuclear tip to it. There are very specific weapon systems, and they are very limited. But here's my problem. I also got information that China has sent 5 cargo-size C-17 plus size Globemasters into Tehran within the last few hours. Now that makes me a little concerned.
I would too.
Because
Why would they do that?
Because they're either picking up or they're putting down. And I don't care if they're picking up, because we can track that with human intelligence and electronic intelligence and find out what the fuck was there. But if they're dropping off, then that's a possibility of a hypersonic missile. And that, David Sling and Iron Dome, is going to have a real hard time, especially if it sends multiple independent targets at once, like he said, like Leeroy said, and then go ahead and backdoor a freaking hypersonic missile. Bye-bye Israel. Do I believe that's what... Do I believe that? No, I don't. Go ahead.
So for anybody who... this is why you watch the show, by the way. This is why you should like, share, and subscribe and donate. Why is China involved at all? Well, as it turns out, 90% of the oil that leaves from Karg Island, which is Iran-run, right, that ends up in China's hands.
Right.
So it is their last, and they get it at a highly discounted rate. It's like minus $3 a barrel from market value. And so Iran is a source of cheap oil. So China will do anything they can to keep Iran, keep them pumping and keep them safe and keep them. You will see more and more Chinese support just because it's in Chinese interest. This is the geopolitical end of why we do what we do. And Matt's absolutely right. If they've dropped off updated weapon systems to Iran, that's going to be a problem.
And that very well could be what Donald Trump's waiting for. So there's a lot. Angela Beals donated $20 in memory of my mom, who's been gone 15 years today. Thanks for taking my mind off of it. God bless, Angela.
Aww.
I'm so sorry about your mom. It sucks. Dumb Show is at 321.66. Thank you for hitting goal, folks. We missed it last night. Would love to make up with a little bit of extra. If we have the ability, let's keep going. Mel Lowe, this is the second China plane landing. Actually, it's 5, Mel. So you're hearing this is the second. It's actually 5. I'm not going to go into specifics of how I know that. I'm just going to say that I know that there have been 5 larger style cargo-based aircraft. And honestly, I will tell you this, that there are people in Iran that China wants out of Tehran. That's absolute. There is no doubt in my mind that there's Chinese nationals and there's a spy network in Iran, and China has people there, and it could be a training apparatus. It could be weaponry training. It could be commando units. We don't know what it is. But Iran has defensive capabilities that are excellent. Their offensive capabilities are really dog shit. So when I said Iran is one of the best defended countries in the world, I wasn't lying to you. They were. And Israel took them apart. China obviously has some concerns, and I hope they're picking up. But if they're dropping off, you have to ask yourself the question, what are they dropping off?
Right.
And and here's the thing. If China Let's do a hypothetical here, right? Let's do the game that we don't do in Intel. But let's just say China's a nuclear power and they just upped Iran's window and clock to 0 for unlimited supply of energy for the next 20 years, and Iran just got their nuke. This whole fucking ballgame changes. And it changes in a way that cripples the United States from doing just about anything to Fordo. Because Iran says, you hit Fordo, Israel's going to glow in the fucking dark.
Right.
Or Saudi Arabia.
What would have potentially been on those aircraft needs to be explored. And I guarantee that you have people in NGA who are looking at that right now, trying to make that determination. If they dropped off bits and pieces for a missile system or an anti-carrier killer,
we're in trouble.
We're in trouble, right? If Matt's absolutely right, if they're picking up stuff, nobody cares. It doesn't matter.
We'll find it. We'll kill it.
If they're dropping off new weapons, what would they potentially be dropping off? And the only thing that makes sense is new weapon systems.
Yep, ship killers, aircraft carriers, hypersonic capability, new targeting acquisition systems that can beat Iron Dome, low-level type Tomahawk entry-level missiles that are nape of the earth that Iron Dome won't be able to pick up. There's a lot of things that you could do that Iran does not have. And I can't go into specifics with a missile system that China has, but the delivery system will beat any type of missile defense system that Israel has. It'll beat absolutely because of its entry point and what it does to enter and get above target. And I, once again, can't go into specifics.
Well, depending on which one, but yeah.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying. There's a couple that will get past Israel. And if China dropped that off, well, now you can hit anywhere you want in Jerusalem and take out a couple city blocks with no worries. That is disturbing. You can also take out a carrier. But more importantly, it's not about what Iran takes out, because if they hit Israel in the heart of Jerusalem, if they hit a nuke, if they hit a carrier, all of that's immaterial. The fact that we are now in a de facto state of war with China.
Right.
That's the concern. That's the concern.
I suppose the assuming that it is a missile system, the most logical question then is which one? Which one would be the most beneficial for Iran and China? I would think it wouldn't be their cutting edge stuff, possibly a hypersonic, but it also could be just something that is anti-Navy like the CSS-5s.
To tweak it in, stop spamming my thread with your shit. Knock it off. No, don't get rid of him. Leave him alone. Just stop spamming your shit. If you can say whatever you want about Gaza and Israel, but don't spam your shit. Okay? People, don't ban him. Leave him alone. Okay? Leave him alone. He has a right to say what he wants to say. We don't need to ban him. Just don't spam your shit. Stop copying and pasting. Okay? And I will tell you this, man, nobody gives a shit about Gaza. You know what? Even the support in the United States, they've all moved on to supporting Iran now. All the paid protesters have left, and they are now supporting Iran. Because why? Because they never gave a shit about you anyway. Nobody in America gives a fuck about Gaza. Nobody. The only thing they cared about was opposing Donald Trump. They're all now rocking the Iranian flag, and their kafayas have changed.
70% of Democrats couldn't find Gaza on a map.
They don't care about you. And I don't care about you fucking people. You had every ability to make peace with Israel, and you guys kept fucking poking the Jew. Well, the bear Jew's bringing the baseball bat down on you, and you guys deserve everything you get. I have no sympathy for you. I just don't. You if you want to have a war, then do it like men. You do it like men. But you guys are a bunch of cowards. You're cowards. And I have no respect for you. Now, am I saying there's Al Qaeda fighters that don't deserve respect, or ISIS fighter? Well, of course there are. You guys aren't it. So I don't have any respect for you. Sorry, dude. Anyway,
you're posting in the wrong chat if you're looking for sympathy.
Yeah, there's none.
There's none here for you. I'm pretty darn sure of that.
And all you guys had to do was turn over the Taliban, or excuse me, turn over Hamas. All you had to do was turn them over. You didn't do it. You let them steal your water. You let them steal your pipes. You let them steal your food. You let them go ahead and integrate into your hospitals. You guys covered for them. 91% of the adults in Gaza believe that Jews should be eradicated from the earth, from the river to the sea. You guys have no sympathy from me. Nope. You have no claim to that land. You're not the Philistines. Are you fucking kidding me? You guys are about as fucking far as Philistines as the Vikings were. You guys are a nomadic tribe of cast outs from Muslim areas and Muslim countries that did not want you. You were gypsies and vagabonds, and you settled in an Israeli country. And you were endowed by the Roman emperor, Philistinia. And even then, 9% of the Jews remained. So you never exfilled the Jews from Israel. You never castigated them out far enough for them not to have a claim. And either way, even if you conquered the Jews, they came back and kicked your ass. And as the winner go the spoils, brother. Suck it up, Buttercup. It's over.
I would say this too, Takadin, that if it should be known that we don't, here on this show, we don't harbor any ill will towards people. We do against governments, authoritarian governments. And if you are one of the Iranians who wishes that there was a regime change, who wishes that the government would play nicely with the rest of the world and stop trying to kill all of the Jews or be brainwashed, then by all means, come on over. We'd love to talk to you. But if you are one of the authoritarian types who just wishes all Jews to be gone, to get rid of Israel completely, then this is not your show, because you're not going to like what you hear.
Yeah, and listen, you guys had 30 days to get the hell out. If there is an opposing army that's marching on Rome, if there's an opposing army that's marching on Troy, if Alexander is marching against Darius, if the Moors are coming down on the Saxons, there is something called retreat and to live to fight another day. You had 30 days to get out. You didn't listen. You stayed, you protected, and you died. That's unfortunate. But you're not going to get a lot of empathy from me when I've got Clinton, I've got Obama, and I got Bush that in between them killed 11 million civilians. And that's the truth. You won't hear it, but whether you like it or not, as Americans, we get to say all war is justified because we're America and we're the good guys. But, well, there's a lot of nuance there. Thank you, Takadin. Much respect. I apologize for my words if they were harsh to you. Says, my apologies for spamming, but just want to say maybe not right now. Later, all of you will regret it. What you say about Palestine is like what Israel has already done to Gaza all day. If words equate to casualties of war to you, then your argument is I'm not empathetic to your argument. My words are not calling for the death and to eradicate an entire group of people. That's your side. Right. I am saying Hamas and every supporter of Hamas should be absolutely eradicated from the earth. Every terrorist on this planet, white, Islamic, Norwegian, don't care, should be eradicated because that is the only language they speak. Now, do I feel that my words deserve some sort of fate that you have condemned for Gazans and therefore that makes you holier than thou? Well, then all you are is exactly like the Jews you claim are murdering indiscriminately based upon for no reason. So what you're saying is you're okay with it as long as it happens to me and not you. Well, I'll tell you what, buddy. Good luck. Bring your lunch and a ladder. You're going to need it. So I don't want Gazans who want to live and have a sovereign country. I respect that. But I will not condone 91% of the population of so-called Palestinians who want to kill Jews. 90% of your country wants to kill Jews. Go ahead, Leeroy.
I looked up his profile, Takadin's, and it shows that he lives in Malaysia. Malaysia is known to have a hybrid political system that is part authoritarian and part democracy. So, Takadin, we have to be very careful which rocks we're throwing at glass houses, right?
Yeah.
If we are saying, and I'm hoping that we're on the same page here, Takadin, if we are saying that governments should not rule over people in that way, should not tell them how to live, who to love, how to defend yourself, right? Then we can get behind your messaging. If you are basically saying a tit for tat, revenge-filled, rage fest, then I cannot get behind that, right? So I understand what you're saying about Palestine. I have no problem with I can hear my own voice right now.
Well, you couldn't a second ago.
I got it. No, it's me because I've got it doubled on Facebook.
Go ahead.
I never have a problem with people. I have a problem with authoritarianism. Tacky, and if you can get behind that, you're welcome to the show.
Also, Takadin, here's the thing. You just said, first you said Hamas, then you said religion. That's right, Takadin. And as a Muslim, you understand that you are an ethno-religion. Your ethnicity and religious beliefs are not diametrically opposed. They're symbiotic to each other. They parallel each other, just like the Jews. The Jews are an ethno-religion. They recognize themselves as a race and a religion. So Hamas, who are most certainly Muslims, and from the most extremist side of the Muslim religion, take the Quran as a weapon, not as one of peace, as Christianity is. And don't tell me you don't understand that, because in the Quran, it talks about Christianity. It talks about Christ. And it talks about love. So the concept is not devoid. You choose, and your people choose to absolve themselves from the responsibility of being godly people and instead destroy, cajole, and kill those who you find to be inferior. That ideology is as bad as the Nazis. That ideology is bad as the Cossacks. So using an ethno-religion to do ethno-cleansing doesn't make you some morally superior human being. It makes you someone who has not advanced in millennia to understand that murdering your neighbors simply because you don't agree with them is no way for a civilized society to act. So what I would, and you also,
killing people.
Yeah, what you also say is what you stand for, that you don't like all Muslim people. You're right. I don't like all Muslim people. I absolutely despise a large portion of Muslim people who are a part of Hamas or Hezbollah or the Houthis or IRGC or the JIP. As much as I despise all people who want to murder people who are not a part of their ethno-religion. Yes, I despise some Muslim people. And I don't understand. You're talking on both sides of your mouth. You're sitting here and wishing and condemning me for my beliefs. You're doing the same thing that you're accusing the Jews of. You're okay with it as long as you do it. But when other people say, you know what, fuck Muslims, you're like, whoa, wait a second. How can you feel that way? We're nice people. We recognize Abraham, Muhammad, Jesus Christ. Well, you also behead Christians. You also throw homosexuals over the top of bridges. And if you are so holier than thou and so inclusive in your society, please tell me, how many Jews do you have in Palestine, in the government and Hamas, who are actually Jewish? How many people making executive decisions are in positions of power, whether it be noblemen, whether it be a CEO or even a plumber, are Jewish in your country? Well, I can tell you there are a shit ton of people who are Palestinian origin in Jerusalem. There were 76,000 of them that got work permits that literally took photographs of the weaknesses of the wires to keep Gazans out who were trying to murder Jews, as you infiltrated with lawnmower parachutes and murdered people for no other reason than they gave you a place to work. They gave you work release programs. And what did you do? You betrayed them. So I love how you Muslim extremists sit back and you guys talk about peace and love and that the Jews are eradicating. You guys have been picking a fight with Israel for 35 years. You reap what you sow. And you're going to get it. Good luck. United States isn't coming to save your ass, man. They're trying to decide whether we want to assist. And if the U.S. get involved in this, there is no place you guys are going to hide. If you don't believe me, ask Al-Qaeda and ask ISIS. Ask them how we eradicate groups of terrorists in this country. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to go off. I'm just a little pissed up at that.
That raises a really good point, actually, Matt. Is this the time where the United States is going to go in with their half measures, or is this the time where we don't, where we go all the way?
Yeah.
If we commit to this and commit to the idea of removing Iranian capability from producing a nuclear weapon forever, this is the time to do it. So Trump has a very tough decision, but yeah.
And to be honest with you, last thing for me, and I don't want Olivia going, well, every time you and Leeroy are on, this one got me hot. But Greg Gutfeld talked about half measures or telling half the story. Half measures and telling half the story are propaganda. And Donald Trump does not strike me as half measures Walter. He just doesn't. And Trump, and that's why I believe Trump is giving a buffer. I think all of the above is happening. I think there are special forces teams training commando units to go in. Shayatet 13 is currently executing strategic training to go in. You are seeing computer models processing the type of strikes that need to happen in what order, in order for structural integrity to be negligible or to be detrimental to that facility by the Jews. And is it equatable to what the United States could do with probably 5 or 6 well-placed bombs and some primary explosions beforehand, taking care of any defense systems? Can the Jews do the job? Then there is, I think, negotiations of Iran knows that if they lose Fordo, they lose the country. Or Fordo, they lose the country.
Fordo, yeah.
Fordo, sorry. They lose Fordo, they lose the country. Ayatollah's gone, the Shah's, the clerics. Khamenei is done. And there will be regime change from a coup d'etat from the people of that country.
What would they do? They would have to stop, brainwashing their own people to say, kill the Jews, and actually start producing something the world wants.
Yeah, isn't that amazing? Livy, go ahead. I'm sorry.
There was a good comment
Olivia.
on Rumble from Tracy. The thing I'm worried about is if we get involved, how many sleeper cells are here from the last 4 years of moving in and will start attacking us from within? It's a good comment. Good point.
It's not a bad comment. No. And I can't answer your question. What I can tell you is the ability to make casualty event weaponry in this country is extremely limited to what it once was. And instead of suppressing the amount of people who want to harm this country, they've limited their ability for high yield detonating devices to almost a standstill. I mean, good luck buying ammonium nitrate, anything bigger than, a 1 pound bag.
Right.
And buy 10 of them and you're flagged and the FBI and the ATF will hit your house. Does that mean that it's impossible? No. And is there something we haven't thought of? In the end, I hate to say this, and I'm going to say this very carefully, those things just don't matter on the global scale. They suck.
No, they don't.
Suck. They suck, but they really just don't matter on the global scale. And I think the United States is willing to take those one-offs. But there's also a lot of intel on these cells that we do have and know where a lot of these guys are. Go ahead, Leeroy. We'll wrap up with that, and then I got a couple other things to show.
It just is a quick, just me thinking out loud. If sleeper cells were to attack, certainly they're not going to attack in a deep red area because that's not going to last very long.
No.
Right? Where would you attack then? New York, California, places where the right to protect yourself is severely limited, right? So you're talking deep blue areas. Even then, I think there's still spurts of red support in there. I don't see, this is not pre 9/11, folks. We are more than aware of our responsibilities as Americans. And if we want to hang on to our liberty, there are people in every town in America who will go that distance. So I don't see this as being something where, the sleeper cell is going to kick off and they would start spraying and praying and seeing how many they could take out. This would likely be, if this is just my humble opinion, this would be like bombs and stuff like that. So if those cells do get activated, I could see bombs in deep blue areas.
It's interesting. A lot of chat on Rumble right now is talking about regime change. I'm not talking about regime change. I am talking about a coup d'etat from the people in Iran who have lived under constant threat of the Shah, the Ayatollah, and the clerics. And that is different than regime change. Now, you're asking me a question. Has the United States ever been successful in regime change? And the answer is pretty much no. Not without some serious hardships, but Iraq is fairly stable and doing fairly well. I believe Syria in 10 years will do fairly well. I believe the United Arab Emirates and Jordan and Egypt also will be doing fairly well. Libya.
Saudi Arabia?
Yeah. Yeah, in the sense of strength and power and influence, they're doing great. As far as atrocities and civil rights, well, not so much. But folks, we're not talking about regime change. We're talking about the Iranian people rising up and eliminating their form of government. And it's really easy to say, well, the leader the devil is better than one you don't. Well, that's true. But what's the alternative? The continued totalitarianistic rule and murdering of civilians and the killing of women and snatching people in the middle of the night and attacking U.S. soldiers and bombing Jews and all bases. So it's easy to LOL. Mr. Fisher or Miss Fisher, I don't know who 506 Fisher is or who it is. Is that what it is?
Mm-hmm.
Liv?
508 Fisher.
508 Fisher. So it's okay to say that. But regime change, which is assassinating a political leader,
replacing him,
and then replacing him with supposed capitalists, is a globalist effort. A country overthrowing despot religious leaders is vindication and a possibility of freedom. So Iran in its core is not a bad place. And I truly believe is very eager to work with Israel. Listen to what I just said. Why do you think so many fucking Jews are, sorry to say fucking Jews, like, sorry, but
Wow.
why do you,
Barry's watching. Wait.
I didn't mean it like that, but why do you think so many fucking Mossad get into Iran? Why do you think so many IDF soldiers get in it? Why do you think flotilla gets into to the harbors in Iran? Because the Iranian people are helping them. The Iranian people are turning against the Shah, the cleric, the Ayatollahs, and helping the Jews and giving them intel. You're talking tens of thousands. In order for them to pull off the pager heist, in order for them to pull off the assassinations they just did, sending in something basically 30 meters wide, 30 millimeters wide, and going into an apartment building and taking out single targets without damaging anyone else. You don't do that on your own. You have human intelligence apparatuses that have infiltrated the highest echelons of Iranian government. And you only do that with the help. Insurgents aren't successful without the help of the populace.
Right.
So you have people just waiting. And I believe you take out the clerics, the Shah, the Ayatollah, you are going to see that Iran will work with Jews because a lot of them are Jewish. There are a ton of Iranian Jews in there who are living in silence. There's there's Iranians who have fled, who live in Israel. There's a relationship. If you guys has anyone here, let's just keep it easy. I don't want you to read a book or anything, but have you guys actually watched the show Tehran on Apple? Liv,
such a good show.
Tell them.
It's a very good show. But I mean,
you can learn about Iran if you actually want to. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's a fictional show, but it's based on, what's really going on. And it really does show at the very first episode, it really does show how Jewish people are treated in Iran. And it starts when there's a plane that's supposed to go to Israel. And I don't remember where it's flying out of, but it gets redirected to Tehran halfway through the flight. And there's two Jewish people on there that are on their honeymoon, and they start freaking out because Jewish people in Iran, that's not a good thing. But
no.
But
what a great show.
In the show, there's a lot of Jewish people that have relatives in Iran. So it's like, I don't know, but it was a great show. But yeah, I don't know.
Folks, 296 currently watching in Legacy Media, 203 on Twitter. We've got 70 plus on Facebook, 25 on YouTube. Looks like we're ready to break 300. Wimkin,
61 on Rumble.
Yeah, so we've got good 400 on the network. This is why we do this show. We do this show because we appreciate you. We hope you do enjoy the conversation. It's a serious one. We are going to go for a few more minutes. And folks, we're at 321.66 on donations. I know we've hit goal, but last night we were extremely short, and we would really, really hope that if you are enjoying it, you guys are able to throw a donation our way. We'll be right back in 1 minute.
The Dumb Show is built on real conversations, raw, unfiltered, and fearless. Big Tech didn't like that. Facebook pulled our funding, tried to shut us down. But for over a year, you, our incredible viewers, have kept us going. Your support, your donations, your time, it all matters. Most of you spend 10 plus hours a week with us. Compare that to Netflix, maybe 5 hours a month. We believe we're worth that time, and we hope you do too. But listen, we don't want giving to feel like a burden. We want it to feel good. So take a second to ensure you're in a good spot. If you're in a place to give, that will be amazing. If not, just liking and sharing helps more than you know. Visit thedumbshow.com/donate. Whether it's PayPal, Venmo, or mail, every bit helps to keep us going. Dumb Nation, we appreciate you more than words can say.
James Cody says, I wonder if Assad of Syria is in Iran now. Bashar al-Assad is in Russia. He was given safe haven by Putin.
Yep.
So
after he dropped chlorine bombs on schools in his own country, you know,
Yeah.
because he's a swell guy.
Yeah.
He sought asylum in Russia.
Yeah, and he was
Where he
granted
currently
asylum by
resides.
Putin, which is, so he's not in Iran. Folks,
Hey, we have something new at the store, by the way.
Oh.
You need to show
What do
them
we have?
that. We have a new
Olivia,
item.
why don't you tell them?
You gotta pull it up because I can't put anything.
Well, there's
in there.
two things that we're going to have. Okay, so tonight, that's a good point. The show, I wasn't ready for this, Libby.
Sorry, I just figured you would have done it.
Well, okay, there's two things. First of all, we have a beautiful new cup.
That's the one I was talking about.
And then I have something else. I mean, and when I say a beautiful cup, it's, dare I say, beautiful.
And it comes in pink.
I'm pulling it up right now. And
While I whip this out.
wait 1 second while I whip this out. Red, I tell you to wash up before claying about it. The reason why we have these is obviously because Amy and Olivia.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Amy and Olivia
Constantly
have their cups, and I have my cups. And we were like, well, we should get some Don't Unfriend Me show cups. And these are available on the site to order now. You give yourself, they are 20-ounce tumblers with metal straws, black, all metal, and they are insulated to keep cool or warm, whatever you put in. So you can put an iced coffee in there. You can put a real coffee in there. But they're available on the site, the Don't Unfriend Me show cups. And they will be on our desk here in the next few days as we wanted to make sure we were consistent. The next thing is I am proud to announce that T.S. Dixon's book has officially been released at a price for the Dumb Show that I think everyone will be very happy to pay. And I was going to make a profit. I told myself, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and buy these for whatever I paid for them. And I'm going to sell them for $30 and I'm going to make a killing. And then I said, you know what? No, I'm not. I bought 10 of them and I'm going to give them to you for what I paid for them. We have 10 copies of T.S. Dixon's book, The Woke Mind Viruses, for $9.99. All you got to do is pay the $10 and the shipping and handling, and it's yours. I was going to make a profit, and I said, screw it. I just decided. I said, you know what? We're going to give back. So if you want T.S. Dixon's book, I will let you know tomorrow, and it will go on sale. And guess what? If we sell out of 10, I'll buy 10 more. And all you got to do is pay shipping and handling and the cost of the book. For $15, you get probably one of the best books that you can read. And all you got to do for me is do me a favor, is share it with a friend when you're done reading it. And let's help TS grow, because TS is going to come out and be one of our first guests on this panel, sitting in one of those seats. And we are talking about doing a long form show together as well. And we're working on something where we can have a 3-hour show sitting down with some cigars and some whiskey and having a conversation, very similar to what we do. Right. And Leeroy knows what I'm talking, and having a little bit of that. So stay with us. And I appreciate you, Olivia. Thank you for telling people about the cup. I would recommend you guys get one. They are pretty cool. Okay?
Yes.
Awesome. Almost done. We do have a couple more, and I would like to see if we can get a couple more donations in. We want to make up for last night, $187. And we can.
Hey, Zeus from Rumble Chat.
Oh, hey,
Sorry
Zeus.
about missing your show for weeks for $10. Thank you very much.
Hey, Zeus, we would rather have you not miss our show. So please keep coming back to our show. Okay? Barack Obama. Does anyone know where the Ministry of Truth came from?
Yeah, 1984.
Right. And you guys remember Biden was flirting with the idea of Ministry of Truth, right? And he even hired that woman who, did the operatic score of like Peter Pan and Pirates of Penzance or some shit. No, it was Mary Poppins, that psychotic woman who was going to be in charge of the Ministry of Truth.
Is it sad that when you said that, my brain went to the Ministry of Magic? And that's how I started thinking Harry Potter.
I mean, J.K. Rowling borrowed from several sources.
I'm pretty sure, but that's the first thing I thought
Yeah,
of.
1984 was a heavy influence for her, along with Animal Farm and the Bible. Yeah. The Bible is pretty big. Die
Animal
First.
Farm is terrifying.
Oh, it's horrible.
1984 is even worse.
Haven't read it.
You need to read both. They're amazing books. But so the reason I bring it up is if somebody had a policy like Joe Biden did the Ministry of Truth, where did he get the idea? And we always suspected that Barack Obama was behind the scenes pulling the strings, right? Everyone believed that. Does this confirm it? Watch this.
But part of what we're going to have to do is to start experimenting with new forms of journalism and how do we use social media in ways that reaffirm facts, separate facts from opinion. We want diversity of opinion. We don't want diversity of fact. By the way, it will require some government, I believe, some government regulatory constraints around some of these business models in a way that's consistent with the First Amendment, but that also says, look.
Did you hear the regret in his voice?
Yeah.
There is a difference between these platforms letting all voices be heard versus a business model that elevates the most hateful voices or the most polarizing voices or the most dangerous in the sense of inciting violence voices. And
so liberals.
And that I think is going to be a big challenge for all of us that we're going to have to undertake. But
that reminds me a lot. There was a speech that Hillary gave not too long ago. She was doing a long form interview where she talked about how social media, like if it were up to her, and she said it like verbally. I'll have to dig up the link and send it to you if I can. But she basically said, "Hey, look, we don't have the ability to police social media, and maybe we should. Maybe we should be able to step in and decide what is truth and what is not."
Right.
And I found that to be terrifying. And to hear those words coming through Obama's lips to say, "Hey, look, maybe we should elevate the voices that we want, not anybody with credibility, but so long as they endorse the opinion and or the facts that we want you to hear, we're going to elevate those voices over all else." That should terrify you.
Olivia, you and I are experiencing this right now with social media. And like we just put on ads for the first time in a year and a half on Facebook because we've lost 2 viewers, which
actually Rumble has been counting how many people we lost. We actually gained one. I was like, holy shit, we gained a follower.
Do you guys understand?
Because it went down seriously.
We gained 40,000 in 3 months. And I am losing followers. And it makes no sense. They're like, we're promoting you. You're all green on your earnings. And we cannot break the algorithm.
And do you want to know when we started losing followers? May 16th. Right before May 16th in the big show, we were like 108 from 240,000. May 16th, we started advertising for it for the show. And all of a sudden, it just dropped. And it is for every 1 follower gaining, we're losing 10 right now.
It's
insane.
Folks, this is why the donations are so damn important. It's because we've lost $15,000 a month in revenue from Facebook, and we never asked. I mean, Leeroy knows we never asked. And Leeroy also, we had a meeting with Amy, and I said, guys, we're on the precipice. Everything pretty much passes 15 next month. If we continue this, we're opening up the books, and everyone's going to start getting a cut of what the base is. And they deplatformed us. So this is why the donations are so, and to you guys, you're like, oh, $331.66 is a lot of money for a show. Well, to stream what we stream alone is $1,800 a month. But you can't put a video out in 4K without a business account with your internet, not to this quality. You just can't. And it's not woe is me. It's just a matter of we need every dollar we can. Every dollar matters. And if every person on right now gave $1, we would hit $1,000.
Yeah. The other thing of why the donations are important right now, and we sat down, Matt and I sat down and we talked about this, is we've put almost $10K worth of our own savings into the studio.
And a lot of that's tools and things that we are going to keep.
And use, but we wanted to do it to make sure this was done correctly. We didn't want to cut any corners, and we wanted to make sure that it was great for you guys. So we have depleted our savings a little bit for it, and we are totally cool because we sat down and we decided to do it. But that's why it's important to hit goal every night, because we not only have to pay for the show, but we need to resupplement some
we
of
got to
the
grow.
income. We have to grow. And now we're, in order to grow on Facebook again, we're going to have to start putting money back into Facebook, even though we're not making anything from them.
Gailey's comment.
I know Facebook hides you. I literally had to search for yesterday's show because it wouldn't show up even on your Facebook page. I know.
It's hiding everything.
And they hide everything. And it's like, do you guys understand? Go ahead, Leroy. Go ahead, buddy. I'm sorry.
That is why it's so important to like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you're trying to get the word out about this show to as many people as possible, because their algorithm is not doing us any favors. It's not allowing for the natural growth that could happen from such high quality content. We are both intelligence analysts from the U.S. Navy, with clearances and everything, higher than most congressmen and senators.
And admirals. Let's be honest.
We come with a certain amount of credibility and a thought process that is very thoughtful for the viewer. So, yes, to your point, if Facebook is doing that to us, then
we must be onto something, right?
We have to break the algorithm somehow, yes.
But
we must be doing something.
But the interesting point, folks, is that we're not spreading disinformation. We didn't do it during COVID. We didn't do it the election. We didn't do it in J6. And I think that's what they want. Iran has a freaking TikTok and Instagram page. And they don't want shows like our show, because we don't ride the middle. We tell the whole story. And occasionally that means that we have to traipse into the corporal bounds that has been set up to never tread on holy ground of the GOP. Never speak anything against Trump. Well, you've got the wrong show. We don't speak out against Trump because we like to. We speak out of Trump because we're telling the whole story.
Sometimes he needs to be. He is not the chosen one, and he didn't ascend from Mount Sinai, so he's not perfect.
Exactly.
So he's gonna make mistakes.
Yeah. So listen, that's it. That's all I wanted to say about that. Mr. Holiday Sauce, $21.10. Loving the picture quality of the show on my 60-inch TV tonight instead of my phone. Dude, it's broadcasting in 4K. So it's like, it looks really cool on a 65 or 75 inch. Actually, I think we're doing 2160p, but it doesn't matter. It's amazing. So Obama, we know what he is. We know what he's going to do. Folks, we got about 7 minutes left. I want to show you what Pete Hegseth did to Miss Hirono from Hawaii. Amy Bordeaux, $1.53. I'd do more if I could, but maybe it will encourage others. Amy, it's just enough, and we love you.
Amy, we love you for that.
Yes, we do. Thank you very much.
And
sometimes it's the small ones that are awesome.
Hey, you told me it was the right size. What the fuck?
Hey now.
That's why I got you the Swedish penis enlarger for Christmas. I figured you'd use it by now.
Swedish penis enlarger? But baby, this isn't my bag. One book by Austin Powers, My Swedish Penis Enlarger and Me, a novelette. What?
It's not mine.
How did that get in there? It's not mine. Loretta says you also have a news reporter's credentials.
That's true.
Do you guys do spaces on X? Every time I host a space, nobody shows up. So
we tried a few times and it was always a mess to start, and no one watched, and it was too much of a mess.
Frankie Wood, $21.10. Gotta give. Can't help myself. Thank you guys and girls.
Thank you
Here's
very much, Frank.
Yes, we love you. Here's Miss Hirono just lambasting and just crushing Hirono. I can't stand this woman. Like, I just can't stand her. Her and Tammy Duckworth. Quack, 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 Mr. Ducksworth. Can't stand that lady. Here it is. I love Hegseth. You don't tell me when my time is up.
Close to 5,000 Marines and National Guards have been deployed to LA without the request or consent of the California governor or the Los Angeles mayor, Bass. Rather than calming the situation, this troop deployment is purposefully inflaming and escalates tensions. You claim lethality is your top priority. Do you plan to unleash this lethal force against U.S. citizens and civilians in LA and other cities?
What a stupid question.
Well, Senator, I would reject most of the characterization of that statement, including lethality against U.S. cities, when all of those National Guardsmen and Marines have conducted themselves with the utmost of professionalism, defending our federal agents, Americans, who deserve to be able to do their job to deport illegal immigrants after the previous administration allowed 21 million
I am
illegals
not
to
here to
cross our
listen
border.
to rhetorical responses. I would like to have a professional response that I would expect from somebody who is the
Say what I
Secretary of
want. Is
Defense.
that what she's saying?
Exactly.
Millions
I don't
of
wanna-
people-
I want you to. Here you go. I gave you that piece of paper before you walked into this hearing. So this is what I told you to say. I don't want your opinion. I don't want you to answer my question. I want you to say what I told you to say before we walked in here.
Right.
That's what she's saying.
Oh, Mr. Pete Hegseth, you too buku. $2 make
God.
you holla, love you long
not
time.
love
I would love to come face to face with her. Just
Oh, I'd
because
love to
she's
come
shorter
face to
than
face
me.
with her too and not give her a towel afterwards.
Oh my God, that's horrible. I didn't say that.
Ew.
That's yuck.
What?
Ew, seriously?
You turn the
Ew.
lights off,
No,
it's
but
all the same.
No, it's
Seriously,
no,
seriously,
it's
that wig
not.
needs a little moisturizing, so maybe it's
No,
appropriate.
it's
Just
not.
say, what, you never wanted to have sex
Are
with
you
Mr.
sure
with
that's a
Mr.
woman?
You never wanted to have sex with Mr. Miyagi? Come on.
No. Are you sure that's even a woman? Because according to her party, they can't define what a woman
Yeah,
is. So
I
are we
don't-
sure
you're right.
that's a woman?
I don't
Because
even
we could
know.
be just
That's a
assuming
man, baby.
the gender. Exactly. We could be assuming the gender.
It's a reincarnation of Miss Admiral Yamamoto.
Peacefully demonstrated this weekend against the president acting like a king.
Oh
Given
my
this
God.
regime's dangerous
Acting like
policy
a king.
of mobilizing
Regime?
troops
It's
inside the
regime.
U.S., the politicizing
Missy.
of the military is a legitimate concern. So, given the dangerous
the
policy of
protection of
mobilizing
federal
troops
property is
inside
the
the
main
U.S., if
concern,
ordered
you
by the
bitch.
president, I'm going to ask you once again, to shoot peaceful protesters in the legs, would you carry out such an order from the president?
Yes. With,
Senator, as I've said,
with no equivocation,
They're
ma'am.
not peaceful.
That's right.
They're
No,
not there for the peaceful protesters. They're there for the freaking rioters.
No, Miss Hirono, I think that would be completely uncalled for. I'd shoot them in the testicles so they could not reproduce.
I reject the premise of your question and the characterization that I would be given or are given unlawful
Considering-
orders. It's all meant
Excuse
to
me.
attempt to smear the commander in
Again,
chief, and I won't
considering
fall
that the
for it.
president...
So then he goes to her, and then the stupid, I'll be nice, asks another, oh, that's really bright. Hold
Yeah.
on. Sorry. Well, I'm usually
that's
close
ionizing.
So, sorry, I usually close the window. Then asks another question, and his answer is, I don't know if it was for him or somebody else, but he goes, Miss Hirono, I believe your time has expired. And she goes, you don't tell me when my time expired. And then
$2 make you holla?
then the senior ranking member goes, actually, ma'am, your time is expired. And Pete just gives this big smile, and I'm like, God, I love that guy. I love how much they trigger them.
Well, the whole conversation was just a bait and switch, right? It was there to try and get him to say something that would, in some way, shape, or form, bruise the Republicans. But she never even got to the crux of the matter, which is, look, if you're deploying National Guard and military there, it's there to protect federal buildings, federal property from the rioters who are throwing, Molotov cocktails and things.
That's all those hearings are for the lib labs,
Yeah.
is to
Just
try and
word
catch
salad,
them to infuriate somebody so much that they say something, and to catch them to get a soundbite for, the week, kind of like there's good people on both sides, let that play for a little
Very
bit.
fine people.
That's pretty much what they all want, is they're just trying to goad you into saying something.
Fine, lay me down.
Fine.
Wave a splash, you sexy motherfucker. Wave a splash when my balls don't feel wavo.
When my balls don't feel wavo?
Yeah.
Do you know what a wavo is?
It's an egg.
When your balls don't feel like eggs?
Listen, there's
What?
a time where my balls don't feel like eggs.
Well, your balls are supposed to feel like eggs, Olivia. They're supposed to be, somewhat firm.
Like apricot seed shape.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so
and
done
if it's an apricot seed
this
with a P,
conversation.
you need to go to the doctor and get checked. Get your PSA's levels checked. Folks, thank you for watching The Dumb Show. Thank you for the donations tonight. That is much better than last night. Last night, I'm not going to lie, I was stressed to the hilt. I was like, oh my God, we just redid this entire room, 30 days of work, and that was one of the lowest nights we've ever had. And, you just, and then Olivia goes, it's going to be fine. The night before, we didn't do anything, and we made like almost 400. So we appreciate you. We know how hard this is. Leeroy, you didn't get to see this, but this was sent by Megan, who is just someone who I absolutely love. And this is the cutout foil version of the Chuck Peterson Studio plaque, which is going to be, it's in the foundry right now.
Awesome.
Yeah, and it's going to be cast in bronze. And it's that old distress, like Pass and Stow plaque. Yeah, old school. And that is officially being worked on. It's in the foundry right now. So that will be at hanging in on the door. And I'm really excited to announce that we are going to be doing something also with challenge coins. Is we're making a challenge coin that looks just like that. And they're going to be different colors. Copper, bronze, silver, gold, and platinum challenge coins that will have your name engraved on it. And when you reach a certain threshold of donations, we're going to be sending you one of those coins. And the higher you go in donations, the more coins you collect. And every time, Leeroy's going to love this, every time that we do that, we are going to give you one coin, but also tack one of the coins on the banister.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I knew you would love that, dude. I knew you would love that. So we're going to tack those coins so your name is emblazoned on our banister for all time. The second thing is there are 3 people who have donated beyond donated. And there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people. And we're going to be doing a lot for those people. But in particular, I think everybody knows Bobby, Mel, and Chuck have donated a considerable amount. And Frank and everybody. There's so many people. So what we were thinking we would do is that we're going to go through all of the donations.
So Debbie, it is every donation since we started, not just new.
Yeah.
It is for the past, 13 months?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's going to take a while to fit because I'm going to have to sit down and it's going to take me like a few days to
No, God, there's so many that
everything, but yes.
We're going to, basically what we're going to do is export all the transactions and put it in a database and just have it tabulate. And we'll know where everyone, and we'll run a running total, and we'll do it every month, and then we'll hand out the coins. But, I think we're going to do the top 5 highest donators, and we're going to have Megan in Bakersfield print out one of those plaques, and we're going to sign it and send it to the top 5. So the whole team, Leeroy, Amy, Olivia, and I will sign the plaque and send it to y'all. And I know Mel and Bobby and Chuck are obviously in the mix with that. And there's a couple of other people. And we will absolutely do that. And we just want you to know that we really do appreciate, and we want to try to do more to say thank you. And we've been thinking of ways to do it. And this is one of the cool ways to do it. And there's a lot of people who've given, and then there's people who can't give and who want to be a part of the show. I was thinking of also getting a couple of those and then randomly selecting people's names who watch the show and doing and sending it to those people too. And I think we're just going to try to give more because you guys have been so incredibly amazing. Top up, Deborah, it doesn't leave you out. We just said it doesn't leave you out.
I think she's being a smart ass because it's Debbie.
Oh, okay. Because that doesn't leave you out. That doesn't
Debbie.
leave you out at all. In fact, it guaranteed pretty much includes you that at least a coin. And there's people who Amy just said it best. I'm poor and can't donate money, so I donate my time every show. And that's why we just said what we said. There's other people who deserve recognition for what they do. And it's not just about money. It's about everything. Marie says, I'm in the middle of this, so why are you having to justify where your donations are going? We're not. Nobody's questioning that. I just want people to understand is that we want to be very open about it. Because honestly, it's not something we wanted to do. We kind of did it out of necessity, but we want to kind of give back to people who've really helped the show. And there are plenty of people who understand who has done that, not just from a monetary standpoint. Amy's right. Amy has been fiercely loyal. Glenn has been here. Mel has been here. Judy. Who am I missing?
Oh, Kevin.
Oh yeah. God, there's so many people who've been helping, and some of those people have given large amounts of money and other people can't. It's not designed to make people feel left out. It's designed to make people feel included to the best of our ability. But we're also not going to be everybody gets a trophy either.
Right.
I can't be that. We can't be those people. So there's been people here like, I've been here loyally watching you every night, and we've been here providing you a show. That relationship is very important to us, and we feel that we've exchanged a great deal of information that people should be happy about. But there's also people who have given their time from a business perspective to help grow the show. There's people who've given financial assistance to the show. There's hosts here who also spend their time. So I just said that, Mel. Oh, God, can you say anything on this show where people just like, can anyone be happy?
Stop.
You have to stop reading all the comments, homie.
Stop. We are a 30-second delay. 30-second delay on comments.
I said it 3 minutes ago. I'm just so confused at why it's like you can't say anything without somebody getting offended. Of course, everyone needs to be reconciled. I mean, it's insanity. You guys, we just told you there are going to be, we just have a plaque where every single person who donated's name's on it. It's going to be in the room forever. I just said, there's 10 books that are going out at cost. There's coins going out to everyone who's donated retroactively who've reached a threshold. There's moderators and other people who watch the show who haven't been able to be financially compensated, who we want to recognize too. But you guys, you know what? This discourages people from doing good things when everyone's like, what about me? Yeah. I'm sorry, but
it's about you, homie.
Come on, man. Fuck.
Ooh, we just went up one on Facebook.
We just went what?
We just went up one on Facebook.
All right.
The followers.
Value back to those who value. I love these ideas. I hate it that I can't afford to donate like others do. But Darla, that's the cool thing, is that you don't have to.
Okay.
And you're recognized. How many times have we said that to you, Darla? It's okay. But that's recognition. You guys, we talk on the show. What shows do this with you? What shows knows their viewers? What shows? We just get so territorial sometimes. We need to stop.
Yeah.
We've got to relax. Yeah. Like, nobody owns the people on this show. Everyone here has an opinion. Everyone here is important, but not everyone's going to get a trophy. You know what I mean? All right. Liv,
Yes.
am I missing something?
No,
Okay.
I don't think you are.
Okay. All right. Leeroy, 1 minute, buddy. It's all you.
Yeah. Well, so first of all, I'd like to say thank you. Thank you for all of the donations that rolled in today. We exceeded goal. That is amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you to Wimkin. Thank you to Barry Morgan. Thank you to Still Point for giving us this amazing song and your talent. Don't forget, big thank you to Matt for working on that studio. It was a tireless effort, and it
What
looks
about
amazing.
me, Leeroy?
Yeah, what about Olivia's
I was
trophy?
here
Yeah,
too.
come on, she did
on,
too.
Leeroy.
God, can't you get her a medal? Doesn't she deserve
There's a
something in your eyes, you
30-second
prick?
delay in my thank yous.
What an asshole.
Thank you to Olivia. Tomorrow is Red Friday. Please don't forget. Remember everyone deployed. And you guys are amazing. Thank you so much. Olivia, you're amazing.
Yes, Leroy.
Matt, you're slightly less amazing. But
Yeah,
you're
I
still
know.
amazing.
I know. She's
I'm prettier.
Can I just say that like, do you know how hard it is?
To be married to you? No, I'm just joking.
Say how hard it is to.
love you.
I don't even listen to you. What did you say? I'm sorry. Did you say something?
Exactly.
So, do you know how hard it is to? I've learned something about this show is that like I want to make people happy. And it is really hard to make people happy. And I will tell you what, if there is a point where we get a contract for a few $1 million or something like that, if you think I'm the guy and Olivia is the girl who aren't going to like give back, we will. But you got to put your own oxygen first. We've got to pay the bills. We've got to do those things. And as soon as those things are taken care of, we'll go from there. But there are too many people to mention. And sometimes you try to do it, and then it hurts people's feelings when their name's not mentioned. Please understand that that's not what defines us. What defines us is that when you're in a hospital room and you get a phone call from me, that should define us. When we talk down vets who are struggling or sitting there thinking about eating a bullet, that's what defines us. When we share stories about us that can help other people grow, or we talk about things that are personal to us or how you touched our lives, that's what it's about. We try the best we can to make everyone happy. But can I just say, and can I say that? Can I say this? I think
I don't know what you're going to say, so
Right,
maybe
so
you should ask me first, and I'll let you know if you should say it.
Let me just
You
put
need
it
to
this
call the
way.
lawyers ahead of time.
I think I can say this. There are a lot of people who are all up in their feelings right now, and y'all need to thicken up a little bit. You need to get your skin a little bit thicker. And you all know who I'm talking about. I was really embarrassed tonight to see my wife so upset speaking to people and going, I'm just done with the childish high school antics. I'm going to beg you to stop because you're stressing me out. You're making it harder for me to come on here and love what I do. We need to stop the high school drama. We are a tribe, and there are no elders. There's no seats. There's no promotions happening here. And if we get to a spot that we can start bringing people on the mothership, let's rock and roll. But at this point, we're not there. We're just trying not to crash land right now. So if you're not helping us get there, see what you can do about helping us, okay? Mel?
I love just some people have a lot of humor. Like Jane, Chaos Girl says, say Jane, please. I may not survive if I'm not mentioned out loud. Just, and Debbie wants a trophy. I'm sure she wants it in like feet-shaped trophy.
I'll get a fucking trophy and I'll put that fucking foot right up her ass.
I know where that's
Mel
going.
says, Leeroy, can you PM me for your address? I have something I would like to send you. That's Mel.
Can do.
Yep. You don't have to say my name. The only person I make say my name is my wife. Well, Jared, Olivia has said your name one time, but I'd rather have her with me saying your name than with you saying mine.
That's
okay.
funny. Also, hey, one thing.
Take your minute, please.
Just want to say that Still Point just got a message from Nick, the drummer from Still Point. They are in 5th place now. So thank you for all of your votes for them. They totally deserve it. So they're in the top 5, which is fantastic.
We need to help them.
We need to help them. Keep the voting. Keep spreading that. I'm gonna post the link right now again. Just send it to your friends.
Save it to me, and I'll put it across our social network.
I texted it to you.
Well,
so
I will put it across all the social network. Can I also mention one more thing, and then we can go?
Yes. By the way, Deb's bending over for you right now.
God.
Oh my goodness.
Cough.
This is why I like
Can
Rumble.
I announce something?
This is why I love Rumble.
All right, I'd announce something.
Yes.
Something else we're working on. And I'm sure people are going to complain. Sometime in August, we think, we want to have Chuck Peterson out, and we wanted to extend it to everybody. People have been asking for a Don't Unfriend Me kind of reunion type thing. And we think the amazing distillery from our good friend John Fugue with a stage would be awesome for Still Point to come up and play and put on a concert for Don't Unfriend Me as we go out and barbecue and play horseshoes and cornhole and drink some wonderful whiskey and wines and spirits and get to sit outside in Virginia and watch the fireflies and get together for an event that we can all participate in. And I've got to talk to Still Point, but I already know their answer is fuck yes. But I'm going to talk to them, and I already know John Fugue is going to be fuck yes. But I think that would be awesome. So in your mental head, check August and think about if you can make it to Virginia, we'd love to have you. Now, I know there's people that are like, Matt, I don't have a car. How do I get to Virginia? Matt, I don't own a plane. How am I going to, and I'm going to tell you, I love you. Maybe we can find something else, but that's what we're going to do. And we think it will be badass.
Yeah, I would love that.
Yeah, Matt Hollandaise hates the idea. He's like, come on, Matt, that's a horrible idea.
And real quick, I was just asked to give a shout out to both Danielle, Carol, and Sandy. You guys are awesome. Thank you.
Who are
And Anonymous just donated $26.25, so we
Thank
appreciate
you, Anonymous.
Thank you,
very
Anonymous. Who are those 3 people?
That would be Sandy, his wife,
I know
and 2
Sandy.
friends. I'm assuming cousins, friends.
Oh, yeah, I know Sandy. Come on, Matt. That's horrible. Mel says need notice. August.
We just don't know the date, but yes,
Mel.
we will let you know.
August. How much notice would you like?
I'll be on a cruise in August. Hopefully getting shit-faced.
For the entire month?
God, I wish.
Well, we think it's...
I have to look at the dates on that, but yeah.
Well, Carrie says, I hope you live stream part of it for those that can't possibly.
Absolutely, we will.
Of course, it's going to be a live streamed event. Of course, we would not do that. We would absolutely do a live stream event, and we want to do it annually. Okay? And that's going to be awesome. Okay? Everyone cool with that? All right, those are some of the things we're working on. Go ahead.
Last one, I swear to God. Also, thank you to Becky, Nancy, and Shar. Thank you very much.
For what?
For watching.
Oh, got it.
Hey, who's our guest next week?
I don't know. I don't think we have one next week.
Okay, so let's work on that tomorrow. We got
We had one, but we don't have them anymore.
Was it Dr. Jibu?
Yes, it was Dr. Stella.
So
how do you spell that?
Yeah. So here's what we'll do. We'll get TS to come on, get Damani to come on, something. We'll figure it out. And we got to hit up Ted Nugent. So we got to write that email tomorrow, and let's start hitting some invites. Okay. All right, everybody, listen.
Get TS's book, so I'm gonna order that.
No, you're gonna get it. I got one for you. That's fine. You, dude, come on. Yeah, come on. I got you.
I absolutely adore that man.
How far are you from Lynchburg, Virginia? We're in the same state. That means get in the car and come on down.
I can tell you in just a second. Hang on.
Lynchburg, Virginia. I'm gonna say 4 hours.
Is Lynchburg southeast or southwest?
It's Lynchburg, Virginia. There's only one, so look it up and you'll GPS.
No, I'm wondering because I could.
You're going to find out right now. Just look it up.
141 miles. So
2 hours.
3 hours. 3.
2 hours
3
the way I
hours.
drive. Yeah, Leroy and I are like 2.
Yeah, that's 3 hours because
70 miles an hour, no stops.
It's probably 90
Nobody
I-95
pees either.
somewhere.
Hold it.
All right, everybody do me a favor. Everyone take a deep breath. Everybody needs to be recognized. Take care of each other.
Ooh, gold star too soon. Probably too soon, Beefy. We're still working on that.
I might have a gold star story soon. And also, you got to remind me to reach out to Ryan Weaver. He said he could come on in June.
Oh, awesome.
I love him.
Yeah, so have me reach
in
out to
June?
Ryan.
Because that's like only 1 week left.
That's right.
Awesome.
That's right. He told he couldn't be here for the May fundraiser, but he told me June he's open. So
awesome.
Have me reach out to Ryan. All right. Good night, everybody. Thanks for watching. I hope you appreciated the extra
Love you
overtime.
guys.
Hey, Leroy, you're the man. Thanks,
Leroy.
buddy.
Love you guys.
See you guys tomorrow for Red Friday. Wear your red, and we'll have a gold star story. Don't let me forget, Olivia.
Yes. Night, y'all.
See you tomorrow, everybody. Bye.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leeroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.